The views expressed on Talk Real Solutions, hosted by Tyrone Thompson at talkrealsolutions.com, are the views of Tyrone Thompson and do not reflect the views of talkrealsolutions.com, YouTube, or etc. The content here belongs to Talk Real Solutions and its many contributors. Views and opinions expressed by all contributors belong to them and not talkrealsolutions.com or Tyrone Thompson, the host, or etc. All data and information provided on the site is for informational purposes only. Talk Real Solutions makes no representations as to accuracy, completeness, correctness, suitability, or validity of any information on this site and will not be liable for any errors, omissions, or delays in this information or any losses, injuries, or damages arising from its display or use. All information is provided on an as-is basis.
All right, all right. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. This is Talk Real Solutions, and I am your host tonight, Tyrone Thompson. I want to thank you for tuning in. Today is January the 23rd, 2025. And if you want to call into the show, the number is 1717-908-1834. And the access code is 917-324, and that information is on the screen at the bottom and in the description box. What's up, Frodo in the East Coast? And like I do every week, if you call in, I don't mind you participating in the conversation. If we can, just try not to talk over one another. So welcome, Happy New Year, Happy MLK Day, fuck the inauguration, and screw Donald Trump and his presidency. That is not my president. I will be boldly acclaiming that position from here on out. Because he doesn't represent anything that I stand for. He doesn't represent anything, my point of view of America and how America should be. That party does not represent me in the least bit. There is nothing about this administration or this party that it represents what it is to be American or what it is to be, me. So, no, that's not my president. And that's just the way it is. I know he is technically the president of the United States of America, and he can have that position. He worked and cheated and lied his way to that position, so he can claim that position. But I don't have to sit up here and constantly repeat that is my president, because it's not. It just clearly it's not. And trust me, I have given the benefit of the doubt as much as I can. I try to, allow this system that I know so well to function and at least represent somewhat of American standards and morals, but it doesn't now. It doesn't. So, like I said, that's not my president. Anyway, let's get on with the show. If y'all want to call in, like I said, call in to the number and I'll get you. Hold on for a minute. I'm Googling. Y'all know I can't do two things at one time. Yeah. Call into the number and I'll get you guys on the line and y'all can talk about whatever you want to talk about. There's a couple of things going on. I didn't watch the inauguration or the speech or anything pertaining to politics um, live or even the replay. All I'm doing is responding to the news reports that I get because that's all you really need to do. The man make news every damn day, so you don't have to waste time watching those antics live. Because somebody's going to report on his stupid ass antics, So that's all I'm doing. And he signed a bunch of his executive orders. Donald Trump did, and it's shocking. Okay, it's not shocking to me because Tyrone Thompson, for damn near a decade now, has been talking about white supremacy, racism, the Ku Klux Klan, and how they've infiltrated our systems of government, and they have taken over slowly what we know to be the normal way of life in America, and that's what we're watching. Way back on BTR, I used to talk about white supremacy, racism, and how these people treat Americans and how they are, and the influence that they have over this society. And people used to push back on me. People who pro-black would call in and say, Tyrone, it ain't all that. All you talk about is racism. All you talk about is racism. I remember having them arguments. And they did it so much so that I kind of shut up because I figured these coonarians, these coonaticians, they wanted me to not talk about racism and white supremacy. So I kind of backed down. The same thing I did with religion, even though I'm right about racism in this country, and I'm right about that fucking fake ass Bible. I'm right about the religious mentality of people all over this planet. I'm right, but if you get so much pushback, what's the point of beating my head on a brick wall, right? The same thing with politics and white supremacy. I would talk about that stuff till I was blue in the face, but the only thing I would get is pushback. Like when Mr. Solutions called in last week. That's the only thing you get is you get pushback from Sarge and ABC. You get pushback from white supremacy, right? So I tamped that down and I just tried to skate around the edges of what's going on with racism in this country. We can see the results of it when you look at our prisons. You can see the results of it when you look at the police force and these KKK members wearing badges. You can see the results of racism and white supremacy when you look at the economic disparity between black and white in this country. You can see the results of it when it comes to housing and access to resources and how many black women die during childbirth. You can see the results of racism. You've seen the results of racism when the coronavirus first started and black people was dying at a higher rate than white people and receiving white people was receiving the vaccine at a higher rate of white people initially, right? You see the results of racism all the time. I've seen the results of racism as I was having my little shows and talking about white supremacy and racism, and then you would get the white trolls that would call in to interrupt the show. I don't know if you guys remember Debbie Daly and the Angry Jew and all of those people. They would call in and just interrupt the show. You see the results of racism because when you have somebody like me, and I'm not saying I'm special, because I represent a lot of black people, black men, black people mindset in the country that don't get on the microphone and speak, that just exist in this country and is trying to function in this society of this racist society. Right? I represent a larger mindset. You know what I mean? That don't want to be seen. That is not forward in their way of thinking about this racist ass country, right? But anyway, what I'm trying to tell you is there's a lot of people in the black community that knows exactly what the fuck I'm saying about white people in this country. And for some reason, the people that want to sanitize or sane wash or normalize this behavior, they like to make the most noise. That's where you get your sergeants from. That's where you get your Mr. Solutions from. They'll call in and they'll push back. But at the same time, this country, no, let me just say it right here. The reason that I know what I know because I'm living this life. I live in the South. I see this shit every goddamn day. I study a little bit of history. I'm not a historian. I study a little bit of history stuff that I'm interested in, like some of the civil rights stuff, some of the Black Panther stuff, some of the movements back in the day. I'm not saying I'm an expert at any of those subjects. I'm just aware of them. They did happen in history. And there's this old saying that history always repeats itself, right? And if you don't study history, you're bound to repeat it. That's another saying. I don't know what the proper saying is, but I think that is true to a certain extent. But whenever you look at where America came from and the struggles that it has taken America to get where it is, then you can see that there was a fight and there's an ongoing war of racism between white European Anglo-Saxons that stole the Native Americans' land and established their manifest destiny, if you will, in this country. There's a fight between that faction of humans and people of color, specifically in this country, Black Americans that came from the west coast of Africa. That is they're natural enemies, if you will. Hell, historically, Black Americans belonged was property of white Americans. That's what the whole Dred Scott thing was, right? We belonged to them, and they thought it was their God-given right. It's in their fucking Bible. Slaves, obey your earthly masters. It's in their Bible that we're supposed to obey them. And then there even got stories in that Bible about how people of dark skin was cursed, right? The story of Ham and Noah and his sons and all that kind of shit. Don't call in here and correct me about this religious shit, because I ain't trying to have that damn conversation. But you guys know that I'm skirting around the edges of what I'm trying to say here. But my point is, all of this was programmed in our brain, white and black, historically over time. So much so is that it is ingrained in us, and we believe that that's the order of things. Now, we believe it as black people when you got these fucking coons that call in here and tell us that the white man's water is wetter. The ABCs of the world. They believe it because you got the people, the racist ass Donald Trumps of the world, that think that he is genetically superior to black people, right? Now, I want to make sure that I put this in perspective and just say this outright, that this is all a narrow perspective on humanity all over the world. This is only an American perspective to where this dynamic exists. And that perspective has spread like a virus all over the planet. Because those are the people that took our names from us, who we belong to, what tribe we belong to, and then they gave us the term black or African American. They labeled us, right? And then they even gave their own self the term white. You don't hear them being called Irish or whatever, but I ain't even gonna get into that. But they labeled us, they labeled people of color, and they separated us like that. So that's the division. So whenever you look at what's going on today, and there's a whole lot more. I just, like I said, I skirted around the edges on it. Whenever you look at what's going on today, right? And the evolution of the Republican Party and its willingness to practice white supremacy and blatant racism, you can see that that is just us as a society to continuing the evolution of this racism, right? Now, sometimes, it's like an ebb and flow. Sometimes it looks like we are making steps forward, and then sometimes it looks like they're making steps forward, right? When you can say sometimes it looks like we're making steps forward, you can look at the era of the civil rights movement when a whole lot of legislation was passed. You can look at Brown versus Board of Education. You can look at a whole lot of things that you can say, okay, so we're making steps forward on this side. But on the other side, you can see when they're making steps whenever they're rolling back things like affirmative action, and then they're rolling back things like the Voters' Rights Act, right? And you can see that they're rolling back things when Trump set up there in this office and signed all those executive orders, right? So you can say that that side is making progress. So I'm saying all of this to just put up front, as frustrated and as tired and as we are, y'all got to realize that you are in a fucking war. That there is no other way to put this. Those people realize that you're in a war and they have not let up. They continue to fight, especially when Barack Obama became the first black president in this country, and you seen the invention of the movement called the Tea Party. It happened before then, but they really got into politics and started, trying to write legislation after Barack Obama got in. You seen the Tea Party, and that evolved into this racist ass goddamn Republican Party that had their megaphones blasted all over right wing media through Rush Limbaugh and Sean Hannity and Michael Savage and Fox News and all that kind of bullshit, and they just steadily pumping out that propaganda to the right and to Coons, right? And these people have been inundated with so much propaganda that that's all they know now. That's all they know. It's just like the church. If you go into church every damn Sunday and then they're telling you that there's going to be a resurrection and you are going to get sent up to heaven because you're part of the fucking 4,000 good people or whatever the story is, then you believe that. You believe that. And nobody can't change your goddamn mind. Nobody can't change your mind. Look at Mr. Solutions. He'll call in here and sin more than me. His mouth is foul. He's got the most foulest mouth on this goddamn phone. And he called himself a Christian, right? He's the most I can't explain it, but my point is he believes that he's a Christian, and however he's living, even though he's gonna buy his first date a bottle of water and give her a napkin, he believes that his Christian ways is going to get him into heaven, and I can't convince that man no other way, right? So on the political side, these people have been programmed and propagandized with all of this propaganda about the left, about Democrats, about black people, about people of color, about gay people, about trans people. And they believe that, and you can't tell them no different about fucking Democrats and Hillary Clinton drinking baby blood. All of that dumb shit, right? They believe that. They somehow or another think that they got a inside track on these conspiracies and they know the secrets. Look at ABC. He is so indoctrinated that he actually took the actions of taking veterinary medicines for a fucking horse, this ivermectin, and he believed that that cures a virus. No matter how many times I pull up the definition of ivermectin and I show him it's for parasites, and I tell him what a virus is, right? Things like the cold and the flu and all that kind of shit, right? And I tell him these two things are not the same. The medicine that you're taking is for a parasite in animals. And there have been some humans in the past that have taken this medicine for parasites. He is convinced, because he's been so propagandized, that parasite medicine that the pharmaceutical companies came up with for parasites, he has been convinced that that same medicine magically cures viruses. And that's because of the goddamn propaganda. And that's why I call him stupid. He's the stupidest man on the goddamn planet. I don't know what else to tell him. He just stupid. So what I'm trying to tell you is that all of this propaganda works. And these people are so programmed that they just watch Donald Trump sit and sign executive orders to fuck them over, and they don't give a shit. If I get one phone call from either ABC, Sarge, or Mr. Solutions tonight, they're not going to say that. Even though Donald Trump signed executive orders to roll back the price of prescription medication, right? And he's talking about enacting, I don't know what the fuck this shit is in Canada, but making Canada a 51st state and enacting tariffs, which is going to make their costs go up. He sit up there and he fuck them to their face, and they don't give a shit. And not only that, I remember ABC being on this show talking about the tech companies taking over the Democrat Party and controlling the message and all of this kind of bullshit, right? So he was against big tech. But instead of Donald Trump inviting ABC and Sarge and the other MAGA idiots into his goddamn inauguration, he had Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, the people from Silicon Valley, the owner of TikTok, big tech, at his inauguration. See, this is how I know these people are fucked up. They're fucked up. They're fucked up in the head, and they don't understand that they're getting played. I can't correct them, you know. And like I said, I don't know every goddamn thing, but I know not to be fucking stupid. I mean, my mama taught me well. There's some shit that you just have to step back and look at twice, and then if it ain't right, then ain't right. And this motherfucker ain't right. So he signed up all these goddamn executive orders. And these people claim to be constitutionalists, right? They claim to love America, and they claim to love the Constitution, and they love to follow the rule of law. But one of the first things Donald Trump tried to do was undo the Constitution with the birthright citizenship executive order. That is a blatant attack on that document. But they don't give a shit. And you know, it was a test run. It was a test run when it was Roe versus Wade, and they said, okay, we're going to take away these rights for women in this country. And then there was another test run when the Supreme Court completely misinterpreted the 14th Amendment in the Colorado decision and said that Donald Trump was qualified to run for president when he was a part of an insurrection. So that was another test run. So they said, okay, well, let's do it again. And what they did was the Supreme Court made a decision that is unconstitutional, giving the president of the United States complete immunity for any action that he takes in office that's considered legitimate business. That is unconstitutional. No one is above the law in this country, and the Supreme Court decision made Donald Trump above the law. So they slow walk these people, and they slow walk these people, and they just take away more and more, a little bit at a time. So these executive orders that Donald Trump, they're fucking illegal. I'm just gonna say that up front. People can argue about it, but I can, like I said, I can read. You know, I'm not a genius, but I can read fucking 8th grade level fucking shit. And I know that the 14th Amendment, me and Sarah just had this goddamn conversation last week. I don't know why he's so stupid, but the 14th Amendment says if you're born here, you're a goddamn citizen. That's always the way it's been. And it is what it is. There's no wiggle room there. But this fucking idiot don't give a shit about the Constitution, and he violated his oath of office. Listen to what I'm trying to tell y'all, idiots. He violated his oath of office with that one executive order. He violated his oath because soon as he raised his right hand that he didn't put the left hand on the Bible on, that fucking moron, he raised his right hand to support and defend the Constitution of the United States, right? As soon as he get in the damn office, he violates the goddamn Constitution. I think that's what his oath says. I don't want to be wrong. I do solemnly swear to affirm that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States and will best to my ability to preserve and protect and defend the Constitution. That's what his oath says, I guess. It says, I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will faithfully execute the oaths of the President, the office of the President of the United States, and will best to my ability preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States of America. That is, he did the exact opposite by attacking the 14th Amendment birthright citizenship. And these motherfuckers don't give a shit. They don't care. They don't care that he blatantly violated his fucking oath day one, right? And that's not the only goddamn thing that he did that is criminal so far. Donald Trump, good Lord. You remember we was talking about the Hawk Tour girl. Hawk Tour, what she say? You got the Hawk Tour and spit on that thing or whatever she said, right? That lady came up with a Bitcoin, right? Let me see. Here it is right here.
Oh, you gotta give him that Hawk Tour and spit on that thing. You get me?
Yeah, that girl there, she came up with a Bitcoin, right? And okay, so in the Bitcoin world and in the market, I don't delve in that because I don't like taking risk with my money. But you can do such a thing as put up these fake, not fake, but you can put up these commodities. I'll call them commodities, and you can pump them up, right, and tell everybody to buy it. As soon as everybody buy it, you sell it. Now, how that benefits you as the coin owner is that as soon as everybody buy it, the price is real high. So now your coin got all this money. And then all of a sudden, you sell it, you take all the money, and everybody else that invested in that coin lose all their damn money. That's what the Hawk Tour girl did. And Donald Trump, and that's illegal. It's called a pump and dump. But Donald Trump did the exact same thing with a Trump coin. He did it, Trump coin. How you do that? He did it with his Trump coin to where it went up in value. On the day it opened, and then it just whenever they sold it, they say he made like, I don't know, $50 billion off of that damn coin. I don't know if that's in Bitcoin or money, but he made a whole bunch of money, and then he sold the shit, and his supporters was left out to fucking dry because they lost every damn thing that they invested into that coin. He's a fucking goddamn fraud. I don't know why people are still invested into this fucking idiot when he got found guilty or liable in New York for committing financial crimes. I mean, that he's a 34 count felony for that damn reason. But anyway, that's that. And like I said, I didn't listen to Donald Trump's inauguration, but I seen a whole bunch of people complaining about the executive orders. And not only that, talking about stupid people, you got Snoop Dogg and Nelly and some other motherfucker. Just cooning. I don't know what else to say. Black people that somehow or another try to justify supporting racists. There's something wrong with you. I don't give a shit how big the check is. I don't care about you taking money. But when you make a decision and then come out and talk to the black community to try to justify what you done, instead of calling it what it is, you got some problems. Just say, I wanted the goddamn money. Just say that, fuck y'all. I'm going to get this bag. I'll holler at y'all later. I will understand that more than you coming out trying to justify that somehow or another these racists have seen the fucking light. And that's what Nelly and Snoop Dogg is doing. They're trying to justify somehow or another that Donald Trump is a good guy, and somehow or another Nelly said that he respect the office of the presidency, and of course he's going to take the offer to perform. I'm like, man, these motherfuckers, they're confused. That's why our whole community is lost, because you throw something at black people, it doesn't matter if that shit is evil, racist, and just bad for us. You throw something at black people that is shiny, that is valuable, that they will shuck and jive for it. That's just been the history of our country. That's just the way it's always been. And it doesn't matter if it's fucking David Duke, Donald Trump, the Proud Boys, these people like Sarge and ABC, they will jump through hoops just because they're getting attention from white America. That's what they do. And it's sad that, the people that do it get so much notoriety, and now you got to speak out on it. But I'm telling y'all now, fuck Snoop Dogg, fuck Nelly, fuck Fat Joe, fuck all them people that support Donald Trump. And now that Donald Trump is in office, I don't hear shit from social media. Tariq Nasheed's and Umar Johnson's and the Black Conscious telling you not to fucking vote Democrat and all this. Where the fuck are they at? The Yvette Cornett, where the fuck are they at? These pro-black motherfuckers that somehow or another, that you on a Democratic plantation, and the Democrat did this, and Joe Biden crime bill. Where the fuck are they at? When Donald Trump just fucking signed the executive orders to turn loose the leader of fucking Proud Boys, who's a known fucking white supremacist and racist. Donald Trump signed an executive order to turn the leader of the Oath Keepers, who's a known white supremacist and racist. Donald Trump let those people go for January the 6th, who ain't nothing but all fucking racist and violent criminals. Where the fuck is the black community that was somehow or another telling you to vote down ballot or don't vote Democrat? Y'all got what the fuck you want. You got this motherfucker in office now. Where's your reparations march at now? Where the fuck are these people at? But y'all want to stand in the fucking way. You want to get in the fucking way when people are trying to say, hey, it would probably be best if we don't elect a fucking racist. You want to come up here and disturb the message when we say it would probably be best to not vote for that motherfucker who sent the Proud Boys to disenfranchise your fucking vote. That would probably be a good decision. But Donald Trump, with the help of these fucking idiots that voted for Cornel West, that voted for Jill Stein, that just didn't. I'm not supporting Kamala Harris and all of this dumb shit. So then you're gonna get what the fuck you asked for. And one of his executive orders. Let me see if I can pull him up. One of his executive orders rolled back some provisions of the civil rights. I'm like, what? What is this guy doing? This is AP. Let me see if I can get a better picture. This is a AP article where is this it? Yeah. Of Donald Trump's executive orders, look like. And I go through some of them. And it's funny to me how whenever you're talking about politics, people are not interested in politics. But whenever you bring up these motherfucking facts, they're not interested in politics, and they'll do everything to stop you from talking about politics. But whenever you bring up these facts that Donald Trump is a fucking racist and he's implementing racist goddamn policies, you don't hear a goddamn word from them. You don't hear a word from him. Well, Tyrone, why are you calling Donald Trump a racist? Well, because he got a South African up there with him that boldly displayed a fucking neo-Nazi, a Nazi fucking salute. I am not lying. If y'all didn't see that video of Elon Musk, I'll see if I can find it. And you'll see Elon Musk clearly giving the damn Nazi salutes, not once, but twice. Let me see. I'll play that first. Let me see. I just Googled it. Let me see if it'll do it. I know y'all ain't gonna hear shit. But if you just look at his motions, watch Elon Musk. Heil Hitler. And he gonna turn around and do it again. Heil Hitler. This motherfucker is a goddamn Nazi. I don't know what else to tell y'all. So when you say Tyrone, Donald Trump is not a racist, I'm gonna call you a motherfucking lie and say, look at this motherfucker. Look at this motherfucker. He don't give a damn. It's the fucking goddamn, it's out in the open now. They don't give a shit. They won. This is most likely to be Donald Trump's, well, it is. Donald Trump should be Donald Trump's last bite at the apple for this office. So they don't give a shit. They don't care about no Americans. They don't give a fuck about the Constitution. They don't care about being racist. They don't care about releasing criminals. They don't care about pardoning people that we seen on video shit in the hallways of in Washington, beat police officers with flagpoles and fire extinguishers, tase police officers, go through this justice system, get rightfully convicted and charged and sentenced to jail. They don't give a shit about releasing these damn criminals. They don't give a shit about the rule of law. They don't care about none of that bullshit. They don't care. But these executive orders, this is the AP, everything Trump did in his first executive orders and actions of his presidency. Now, I hope, I don't know, I just pulled up this article, and I'll scroll pretty fast, and I'll skim on them to see, like I said, I didn't watch the goddamn thing. So it said, President Donald Trump started his second administration with a blitz of policies, actions to reorient the U.S. government. His executive orders covered issues that range from trade, immigration, U.S. foreign aid to demographic diverse civil rights and the hiring of federal workers. Some have an immediate impact, others are more symbolic, and some already are being challenged by federal law. So let's scroll on down here. The immigration and U.S. borders. Well, he designated an invasion across the southern border of the United States to move triggers executive orders branch powers. So Trump says his cabinet shall take action to appropriate action to repel and repatriate or remove any aliens engaged in invasion. Allow the U.S. military members to act as immigration border enforcement officers. Listen, that is illegal. I don't give a shit what Sarge come in here and scream about. Ever since I've been a soldier, and as far as I know, you're not supposed to deploy the military within. That's why we've never seen it done before. We've never seen the military deployed in the United States of America. Y'all will ask, well, why not? Well, it's written somewhere that you're not supposed to fucking do that. You're not supposed to turn the military on these goddamn civilians in this country, right? That is, you're not supposed to deploy the military within inside of the borders like it's a goddamn war. So, Trump orders cover the Ready Reserve National Guard military property that could be used as detention spaces, ground and air transport vehicles, and other logistic services to support civilian-controlled law enforcement operations that poses a continuous act. What is that? Committimus? I don't know what the fuck that word is. Sorry, y'all. Of 1878 has historically limited the use of a military. Okay, so here's what I'm talking about. Let me get this word right, so I can pronounce it right. When I'm saying that you're not supposed to deploy the military.
Comitatus.
Comitatus. I'll say. So the Pulse Comitatus Act of 1878 has historically limited the use of the military personnel in domestic law enforcement actions. So there's already a law that says that he can't do that. Trump orders frame migrant flow as a national security threat, which his reasons justify the military or orders the commander in chief. So he's going against whatever the act this is of 1878, which says we don't use military in the United States of America, and he's going to do it any goddamn way. Once again, he's doing shit against the laws of this country. Okay, so here he is stopping refugee arrivals. That's been part of the damn laws in this country forever. You know, how you supposed to seek asylum? You can seek asylum in the United States of America. So he's going to stop that, look like. Redefine birthright citizenship. This is what we talked about earlier. He's going to redefine birthright citizenship under the 14th Amendment. A Trump order asserts that a child born in the United States is not a citizen. That directly contradicts what the fucking law says about birthright citizenship. And I seen some news today where a federal judge, hold on, it's like new news, so I should be able to pull it up. And this is not Tyrone talking. This is somebody who's sitting on the goddamn bench that is going to make the same argument that I made last week to this idiot Sarge and Mr. Solutions. All right, so here's this article here. I don't know what newspaper it is. It says a federal judge blatantly, this is CNN, judge blocks Trump blatantly unconstitutional executive orders that aimed at birthright citizenship. This is a judge. A federal judge says Thursday President Donald Trump's executive orders of ending birthright citizenship is blatantly unconstitutional. I'm not saying this, Mr. Solutions. I'm not saying this, Sarge. This is a federal judge saying that it's unconstitutional. Judge John Coganer, a Ronald Reagan, this is a Republican, a Ronald Reagan appointee who sits in Seattle, granted the request by Washington Attorney General Nick Brown and 3 other Democrats-led states for the emergency order halting and implementation of the policy for the next 14 days. There are more briefings and legal challenges. I have been on the bench for 4 decades. I can't remember another case where where the question presented was as clear. So this judge saying that, that executive order about birthright citizenship is unconstitutional. So he did that. So he's going to prioritize and continue the construction of the wall, the Mexican border. Steve Bannon went to jail behind that shit. They stole your goddamn money behind that shit. The wall. I don't know. This is more ways to fucking grift Americans. All right, so I'm going. He did a lot of them, so I'm just going to scroll down and see what catches my eye here. This is still immigration. He repealed Biden order requiring planning for the effects of climate change. He don't give a shit about your hurricanes or your fires in California. He just wanted to burn and fucking be destroyed. What an international trade and business. Broadly direct all executive agencies to tailor to their policies and reduce consumer prices. Trump wants a progress report from the top White House economic advisor in 30 days. Direct the Treasury and Commerce secretaries, U.S. trade representatives, and other to examine causes of U.S. trade deficit, identify the unfair trade practices to make recommendation, potentially including a global supplemental tariff. There he is with this tariff idea. Listen, I don't know what the fuck to tell y'all, but these countries have already informally responded to the threats of United States putting tariffs on them. It's going to hurt the citizens in their pockets. Begin review of the United States-Mexico-Canada agreement. Trump's first administration rewrite of NAFTA with an eye on renegotiating the 2026 as sooner. Trump said he plans to 25% tariff on Canada and Mexico as of February the 1st, but he has not signed the executive order so far. Okay, so we got that. We know that's some bullshit. Okay, Trump began review of dealing with China to consider a new increase in tariff as the candidate. Trump threatened a 60% tariff on China. And climate change. Well, we know he pulled out of the fucking goddamn, he pulled out of that fucking agreement about climate change. Okay, so diversity, transgender rights, and civil rights. So let's stay here for a minute and see what he said. Gives executive branch department and agency of 60 days to eliminate diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, including all chief diversity officers' jobs, equity action plan, and environmental justice positions. Requires that department and agencies to give the White House Office of Management and Budget and Accounting of previous DEI efforts, including the names of relevant DEI contractors and DEI grant recipients. Terminate a 60-year-old order setting anti-discrimination requirements for government agencies and contractors. Listen to what he's saying. And I want y'all to know, it was like a slap in the face whenever I first heard it. But whenever they're saying they're going to attack DEI, they're attacking everything other than white. Understand that. Because if you're white, you're not, well, I mean, these white women do, but I'm gonna take them out of the equation for a second. But if you're white, they're not targeting you. They're targeting people of color, black people in this country. So whenever they say they're going to get rid of diversity, equity, and inclusion, they're getting rid of the diverse people that make up whatever workforce or organization. The diverse people are people of color other than white. So this is blatant racist policies that he's signing into with his signing his executive orders on. And I don't know how the mainstream media have not seen it from this perspective for so long, that whenever he's talking about DEI, he points at Kamala Harris. Whenever he talk about DEI, they talk about Jasmine Crockett. They talk about DEI, they talk about Omar Ilmar. They're talking about people of color whenever they're talking about DEI. It's always people of color. You don't never hear DEI related to a damn Caucasian. So you're discriminating against people blatantly by using the term DEI and only targeting people of color. That's racist. Okay, repeal Biden-era directives on racial and ethnic equality and LGBTQ rights. Racist again. They include orders intending to ensure equitable distribution of federal money based on 2026s. There he is attacking racially the economics of these marginalized groups in your goddamn face, and the media is not calling this shit out. Here it is, the AP is reporting on it. They're not saying President Trump is being racist. You're reading President Trump is being fucking racist. They include orders intending to ensure equitable distribution of federal money based on the 2020 census. So the 2020 census, we do the census every 10 years, and federal money gets allocated based on the census results. So whenever they got the results of the 2020 census, they said, okay, well, money is going to this group more than it's going to this other group. So we're going to redistribute the money fairly. These people are saying, fuck no, I don't give a fuck who you is, black, white, no, black or color, person of color. We're going to fucking roll that back and put it back to the way it was, giving white people more money. All right, where we at? Okay, the 2020 preventing government discrimination based on gender identity, sexual orientation, and specifically encouraging and inclusion in a school setting. The White House education initiatives for Native Americans, Hispanic, Black Americans, and other, and order especially allowing transgender persons to serve in the military. So he's rolling back all of that. Now here's the problem with Black Americans. And I'm not saying, and y'all know me, I got my own fucking views. But for some reason, whenever they talk about Black Americans, they have to wrap it up with all these other motherfucking people. They have to wrap it up with the Hispanics. They have to wrap it up with the transgender people. They have to wrap it up with no. Separate me from these motherfucking people, right? Because I got my own fucking goddamn problems. So, and the reason that that's a problem is because if you wrap all that shit up together and not talk about them separately, then it's easy to say, oh, I'm against transgender. No matter how many times they shitting on black people in the same goddamn sentence. Right? So separate me from that shit. But that's what they do. And we have, as a society, has grown to accept the fact that we're wrapped up in a group with transgender and Hispanics and Native Americans. They don't give a shit about us. You see who they voted for. The Native Americans voted for Donald Trump. Right? The Hispanics voted for Donald Trump. So why the fuck do y'all keep putting us together? We clearly don't think alike politically. Our plight is not the same according to them. We know who the fuck we voted for. So I really wish they would stop putting all these people of color to goddamn together. There was only one group in that damn. There's only one group in that group of people that has been slaves in this goddamn country. There has been no other group, the Hispanics or the Native Americans, that has been oppressed like the African American, nor the transgender. None of them has the same oppression as black people. So I really wish that we as a society would stop putting all of that shit together with African American. We are our own fucking people with our own fucking struggles in this damn country. I'm not saying that your struggle is any less than mine, but there is a distinct difference between the plight of all of these groups. The Hispanic people, at any time you want to, you can turn on your goddamn whiteness. Right? That's why you wear a MAGA hat. Same thing for the Native Americans. So I really wish they would fucking stop putting all this together. But, you know, y'all got your own plight. So here's another one that played to the MAGA base. And one of his executive orders required that the U.S. government recognizes two genders only, male and female, on passport, visas, global entry cards, and all other forms of documents in all programs and communications. All right. Now, that one, people can have a long debate about what gender is, and how can I say? But first of all, I disagree with this. I disagree with it. But what I'm trying to say is this shows you how anti-science these people are, right? Because you are either born a male or female, right? Scientifically. And then society has said, okay, so your gender is how you identify. And I accept that. There ain't nothing wrong with that. So what I'm saying, if you want to talk about science, you can talk about male and female, the sex of the person. But whenever you talk about gender, you've got to educate yourself and evolve your goddamn mind to where you can classify people in all these different damn categories. But he's rolling that back, and all of you gays for Trump, that's what the fuck you get. I seen the t-shirts. I seen y'all out there voting for Donald Trump, like the gays for Trump, like ABC and Mr. Solution. That's what y'all get. We can't call you a woman no more, Mr. Solutions. We either got to call you a male or a female. I can't call you a girl no more, Sarge. You know, you either a man or a dad. You need to pick one, motherfucker. I'm not finna fuck with y'all. All right, mandate the federal civil rights law. Okay, so mandates that federal civil rights law and labor law be interpreted to enforce with the understanding that sex is not a synonym for and does not include the concept of gender identity. See, this is them trying to rewrite science, and I don't know. They're just these people are anti-homosexuality, anti-gayness, and all this kind of stuff, right? So that the gay, okay, so let me just back up. Now that there has been a gay movement and a gay shift in this country, and gays and LGBTQ have identified who they are and how they want to identify, right-wing Christians and red pill people want to interfere in the gay movement and say you can't do that amongst your group, you're going to have to identify yourself the way we want you to identify yourself. You're going to have to identify yourself the way I interpret the Christian Bible identifies you. And this is why I don't, all of this shit right here, it's just wrong. I mean, they're not, if they're gay, if they're in that group, if they are LGBTQ, then you need to clarify that amongst your group, but they're not. They're straight Christian men trying to tell gay people what to do in the same way that straight Christian men told women what to do with their bodies. You see, that's the same thing. The same way that they take away a woman's health care for abortion and all that kind of shit. They want to tell a woman when they can and cannot have an abortion or whatever. They're doing the same thing for gay people, trying to tell gay people what to do. I'm not gay, and I don't give a shit how LGBTQ people identify themselves. That doesn't bother me. But these people have to write into law what people can say and do with their own bodies and their own desires. And all. It's sick. Okay, so let me switch this right here. Forbid federal money, including grants, from being used to promote gay ideology. See, this is what they're doing. And direct the Attorney General and the Homeland Security Secretary to ensure that males are not detained in women's prisons or housed in women's detention centers. I don't know what these people got. I know what it comes from. It's all based in religion. And it's all based in the Bible when it says, I guess gay people are abominations and all that kind of bullshit. So that's the core of it, right? But it manifests itself in these interpretations of how society is supposed to accept it through these fucking laws and rules and shit. You know, and like I said, if they are gay, right, then they could speak on this shit. But I don't think that they should be able to speak on it. I really don't, because gay people in this country created a movement from grassroots, fought for rights, and they got identified a certain way through the federal government, and they earned that. You know, they earned that. The same way black people fought. Which I want to make sure that there's two distinct struggles here, not the same struggle, but they earned that. And now they just want to undo all that. Federal worker and government structure established the Department of Government. Elon Musk is a goddamn crook. When they established this Doge department, that ain't nothing but Elon Musk trying to take your goddamn money. Healthcare. Okay, here's something. Repeal Biden's directive intended to make it easier to enroll in Medicaid services. Secure insurance coverages under the Affordable Care Act and lowering prescription drug costs. Trump action, however, does not actually repeal the Biden-era $35 a month cap on insulin, Medicare $2,000 annual payout on prescription drugs, and Medicare ability to negotiate drug prices. Those policies remain enforced by the statutes passed by Congress. Okay, so whenever he's repealing Biden's easier access to Medicaid, right? And then they go on to say that, by the way, Trump action doesn't repeal these things. That is just eyewash, because just as soon as they get the foot in the door with the first part of their act of repealing the Medicaid services, they're going to attack the rest of it. That's just crazy. Repeal multiple Biden orders to directive for COVID-19. See, these people are just stupid. They withdraw from the World Health Organization. What else they do? Listen, there's so many nationalism. Okay, so here's something. Restore the name of Mount McKinley. I seen Donald Trump say something about this the other day, and I didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. There's something about McKinley that didn't sit right with Americans that caused that mountain to be renamed. I don't know what the deal was, but it says change the name of North America's tallest peak, recognized as William McKinley, the 25th president of the United States, whom Trump has praised for his economic leadership and expanding the U.S. territory through the Spanish-American War. President Barack Obama in 2015 renamed the mountain Denali, what the native tribes called it historically. Trump orders did not change the name of the surrounding Denali National Park and Reserve. Okay, I got it now. So when the Native Americans, this motherfucker, when the Native Americans say, "Hey, you fucking colonizers came over here, and confiscated this sacred ground and named it a white man, not honoring our ancestry, invading on our turf." They was complaining and lobbying for this shit to get changed. So Barack Obama did it, changed it to Denali. And because Barack Obama did it, Donald Trump is now saying fuck Barack Obama and fuck the Native Americans. Or the native, what is it, native tribes? Yeah, I mean, that's all this petty shit. Petty shit. What is this? Requires Trump personal approval of new architectural design standards for federal buildings so that the president can ensure federal structures, respect regional traditions and classical architecture heritage in order to uplift the beauty of public spaces in the United States. Now, I don't know. That's kind of iffy. That kind of sounds like he might go back and rename some of these shits that got named. I don't know. Oh, here's something petty. Y'all know Jimmy Carter died. And it's traditional in the United States for the flag to be flown at half mast for 30 days when you have a United States president that died. This petty ass motherfucker signed an executive order, and it says orders that U.S. flags will always be flown at full staff on Inauguration Day, because it was flown at half staff because of Jimmy Carter's death. You fucking idiot! The immediate effect will countermand Biden's traditional 30-day order lowering the flag as a mourning tribute for President Jimmy Carter, who died December the 29th. Trump ordered to return the flag on the federal installations to half staff on the 20th through the end of Carter's mourning period. Do y'all understand what he did, this fucking disrespectful piece of shit? Instead of him honoring a fallen president for the full time that he's supposed to be mourned, he wanted the flag to be raised at half staff, a full staff, for his inauguration on the 20th, and then lower back down to half staff for the remaining 30 days of mourning. That is some sorry shit. Listen, here's what Donald Trump should have did with Jimmy Carter and the flag being lowered to half staff, right? Instead of taking it personal. He should have honored Jimmy Carter and addressed the nation about this mourning period and allowed the honor and dignity of that office to persist through his inauguration, right? Because whether the flag is at full staff or half staff did not matter on his inauguration. But what he did was he was on social media And he's seen people saying on Trump's inauguration day, the flag is going to be at half staff because of Jimmy Carter. And people were saying that that is fitting because of this fucking tyrant getting back in office. And that got up under his goddamn skin. So once again, he went against norms and he raised the goddamn flag to full staff for his fucking petty ass bullshit. And then he lowered it back down to half staff on the 21st. That is crazy. Okay, so I'm about to the end. Okay, so this is interesting. It says death penalty and crimes. Direct the Attorney General to explore whether 37 federal prisoners who had their death sentences commuted to life imprisonment by Biden can be charged and tried with capital crimes in state courts. What the fuck is wrong with Donald Trump? He trying to listen. Donald Trump, last period in office, right? And it was said, I didn't validate none of this. They said him and fucking Stephen Smith killed the most motherfuckers on death row that has been killed in a while. So now, as soon as he get in office, President Biden commuted 37 federal prisoners who had a death sentence and gave him life in prison. And now this motherfucker saying, oh, we finna redo that. We finna kill y'all motherfuckers. What is wrong with this son of a bitch? He said he directed the Attorney General to take all necessary lawful action to supply states with adequate drugs to carry out lethal injection. What the fuck? It's directed the Attorney General to seek reversal of the United States Supreme Court precedents that limits application of the death penalty in the states of federal jurisdiction. In a symbolic gesture, directed the Attorney General to encourage the state Attorney General and district attorneys to pursue the death penalties in all possible cases. There's something wrong with this fucking man and the Republican Party. All right, so here's the last part, and I'm gonna shut up after this. Yeah, I've been talking for a long time. He said commute the sentences and grant full pardons to hundreds of individuals convicted or still being prosecuted for their roles in the January 6, 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol as Congress convened to certify Biden's victory over Trump in 2020. And order the Attorney General and others to review all agency and investigate enforcement actions during Biden's tenure to identify what Trump describes as weaponization of the federal government against his supporters. The directive identifies that the Justice Department, Federal Trade Commission, and the Securities Exchange Commission and the intelligence community. It requires a report to President Trump on the findings with recommended remedial actions. Direct the Attorney General to investigate the U.S. government dealing with social media platforms during Biden's tenure and make recommendations for appropriate remedial actions in response to what Trump frames as censorship efforts. Revoke the security clearances of 50 people Trump accused of aiding Biden in the 2020 campaign via the collective public statement about the laptop belonging to Biden's son, Hunter Biden. The list includes the top intelligence official James Clapper, Michael Hayden, Leon Panetta, along with Trump's one-time national security advisor John Bolton. Direct the Director of National Intelligence and the CIA to submit a report within 90 days with a recommendation for additional disciplinary actions and how to prevent the intelligence community or anyone who works for or within it from inappropriately influencing domestic elections. Listen, this guy, like I said, I didn't listen to the damn inauguration, and I'm not going to go back and re-listen to it. I don't give a shit about what Donald Trump is saying. But like I said, this is news. And it's the president of the United States, not my goddamn president. And it's the president of the United States making news. And I happen to do this thing every Thursday where I come on here and run my damn mouth. So I have to inform y'all on what the fuck is going on in this goddamn country. So that's why I even go this far of even looking into whatever Donald Trump doing. So listen, to recap, Donald Trump pardoned racists. He pardoned the leader of the Proud Boys. He pardoned the leader of the Oath Keepers. He pardoned people who committed crimes on January the 6th. He pardoned about 1,500 criminals, right? Donald Trump rolled back some provisions of the civil rights. Whenever you look at Donald Trump administration and they was all talking about they was anti-tech and trying to fight big tech, everybody in his fucking cabinet and associated with Donald Trump right now belongs to big tech. Right? And you can tell that he's being racist because that Doge office, they got rid of Vivek Ramaswamy. Now I don't know what the fuck it's gonna take to wake Vivek Ramaswamy up, but they fired his fucking ass. Just like Laura Ingraham told him that she would never vote for him because he's Indian. Vivek Ramaswamy is one of the biggest fucking goddamn coons. I don't know, but he's still kissing their ass. You know, he said he's gonna run for a governor, some goddamn weird or some shit. Donald Trump is violating the Constitution by trying to end birthright citizenship. Donald Trump stole from the American people by pumping and dumping a Bitcoin. Donald Trump convinced, I ain't gonna say convinced, but invited Nelly and Snoop Dogg to participate in the inauguration and perform there. And Nelly and Snoop Dogg is defending their choice to support racists. Like I said, it's a lot going on, guys, and I'm not going to lose any sleep over this dumb shit. I just want to hear how Sarge and ABC and Mr. Solutions still justify supporting this anti-constitutional, anti-American, traitorous usurper who's not qualified. Do y'all realize that Donald Trump paid Stormy Daniels to hide information so he can get elected? That's what that whole fucking case was about. That's why he's a felon now. So he really didn't get elected the first goddamn time because Russia helped him out and he paid to hide information so he could get elected the first goddamn time. And these motherfuckers, I don't know. It's just, there's nothing you can say to them. Like I said, all of these people are just, they exist and there's nothing you can say to them. So look, guys, if y'all want to call in and talk about whatever the hell I rambled on about tonight, you can call in to the number right now and I'll open your line. I know I rambled on for a while, but you know, it is what it is. I tried to give y'all some information about what's going on and sum it up as best as I could. And let y'all know that, like I said last week, we are in for some fucking hard times. When I said that last week, I'm not saying that not hoping that the Republican Party don't get on the right foot and do the right thing. I said that because I'm looking at this administration blatantly lie and manipulate the public and hire these oligarchs to be a part of their office and actually just blatantly lie to people, steal their money, and Donald Trump don't give a shit about the Constitution, and he released fucking goddamn felons back into the street. And one of those people got rearrested on gun charges that he pardoned. All right, who's this unknown caller?
A guy gonna set your ass straight.
Hey,
Are you
what's
ready
up,
for
Sword?
it?
How you
Can you handle
doing?
it?
How you doing tonight? I'm doing all right.
Oh, I'm doing great, man. This is about the greatest first 3 days of a presidential history I've ever seen in my lifetime.
Figured you say that. What do
I
you
knew
mean?
you said it. I'm gonna tell you why if you let me.
Go ahead, brother.
All right, first of all, I've been saying since forever, calling in here to TRS about this citizenship thing, exactly the way Trump is saying. I mean, exactly. In fact, Trump just got through saying, and without mentioning her by name, and even Barack Obama, without mentioning him by name, that they're not even citizens of the United States under the 14th Amendment, much less being a natural-born citizen. And I've been telling you that since forever. And I've been saying it based upon the reasons of the people who wrote the 14th Amendment and what they said. And I quoted what they wrote repeatedly, who it would not pertain to. And in that executive order, it directly details exactly Kamala Harris's birth status. She was born to a woman here on a temporary work visa who was not a citizen, whose father was here on a student visa, who was also not a citizen. That woman is an illegal alien, and at some point it's going to come to be shown to be true.
Okay.
Now, you can ignore it all you want, but you know why he did this? He did this to fast-track this to the Supreme Court. Because this is what's going to happen. This is a temporary restraining order for 2 weeks. At the end of 2 weeks, both parties have to come in to that judge and submit their briefs as to why the temporary restraining order should be lifted or should remain in place. No matter what happens, one of the other side is going to appeal it. Then it's going to go to the federal district court, no matter what the decision is. After the federal district court, both parties are not going to be satisfied. One of the other party will not be satisfied with the outcome, and they're going to take it to the federal appeals court, appellate court for the district. Then again, they're not going to be a satisfied party in that ruling either way. Then it's going to go to the Supreme Court, and that's where it will be decided. And I'm telling you right now, if you look at the Dred Scott case, the reason the 14th Amendment came into being was to deal with the Dred Scott case. There was no way around it without a constitutional amendment. That's why they passed the 14th Amendment. And the people who authored it gave great details as to who it would cover. And they said it would not pertain to foreigners and aliens. Both authors of the amendment said it, and so did others when it was being debated on the floor of the House. It is corrupt interpretation that has allowed this state of affairs to be what it is now. And it's going to come out 6-3, probably, maybe 5-4. Kentucky won't vote for it. Sotomayor won't vote for it, and neither will Kagan. But possibly you can get Amy Coney Barrett to vote with it, and the other 5 justices will vote in the affirmative for the Trump executive order. But it's going to be forced, I'm telling you right now, it's going to be forced on the Supreme Court, and we're going to finally get a decision about this one way or the other so we can stop arguing about it, and it'll be done.
Okay.
Oh.
Wait a minute, hold on. Okay, but let me just ask you a couple of questions, and I don't want to get in no screaming match with you. Has Donald Trump...
You didn't get no spinning match, baby. There's facts on the table. There's history on the table. I don't have to make anything up.
You're not even allowing me to speak now.
Well, you can speak. I'm just saying now. Don't think that I'm going to accept whatever outcome comes out as long as it bears a reasonable relationship to the Constitution. The problem is that you're not. You got your mind closed, and that's it.
You're still doing it. So I started talking, and you started talking, so please don't talk.
Okay, I'll be quiet.
Thank you.
I'm hushing up now. I'm putting myself on mute.
Okay, so I'm not even going to ask.
Before you do, I'm putting myself on mute. Go ahead.
Okay, so he's still doing it. All right, so this is what I'm saying. When he called in here, he said Donald Trump is saying the exact same thing he said, and that is possible, and I'll give him credit for that. But because Donald Trump is saying it, that doesn't mean that Donald Trump is a constitutional lawyer. That don't mean that Donald Trump studied the Constitution. Donald Trump is not a judge. Donald Trump does not interpret laws. So Donald Trump's opinion and Sarge's opinion is the same level. But like I read, Judge John Connerhow A Reagan appointee, a federal judge, just said recently that Donald Trump's executive order is unconstitutional. Now, as an American citizen, I'm going to take the position of the damn judge that actually studied law and has been on the bench for look like over 40 goddamn years and said that this thing is unconstitutional. Fuck what Sarah's talking about the 14th Amendment. And I'm not going to do it tonight, but we've read this thing over and over again, and it clearly says if you're born here, you're a citizen. All right, so who is this unknown caller?
Once again, you asked Devin.
Big
You just
J
did your
here.
live by
Big
issue,
J
Tyrone.
here.
God damn it,
Okay.
you did it again.
Big
Okay,
J
I didn't
here.
allow you. I didn't allow you. I'm going to get to these callers. Who's this other caller on the line? At least I got your line.
Big J here.
I got you, Big J. Who's this other caller?
Okay.
JNYC.
Okay, JNYC. And then Miss Elisa, are you there? I got your line open.
Yes, I'm here, Tyrone. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
right,
Hi,
Big-
everybody.
What's happening? What's happening? All right, Big J, what you got, brother?
Okay. Here's the thing, right? So SARS just trying to revamp this birthright citizenship and try to talk about. And then he mentioned the 44th president of the United States, right? And he tried to use Kamala's mother because she was a temporary resident in the United States, but then Ann Dunham was born in Kansas. Ann Dunham gave birth to a person named Barack Hussein Obama II. So how can you sit there and talk about Ann Dunham? So by that logic, we're gonna remove the citizenship of Barack Obama based upon the daddy, but the mama was born in the United States. Therefore, the mama gave birth in Hawaii. So how can you sit there and take away Obama's birth status when she was born in Kansas? She was raised in the Midwestern United States, and she gave birth in Hawaii. How you gonna take away the birthright citizenship on that? How you gonna argue that down in the courthouse? How you gonna argue that in the courthouse?
Can I answer?
Go ahead.
Okay, let me ask you there, brother Jay. Okay, at least you partially concede I may have some kind of case for Kamala Harris. And I understand since I incompletely made my point in the interest of time, I don't like to ramble. I like to let other people get in. I do, no matter what Tyrone says. Let me complete that statement about Barack Obama. And it's conditional. And if he was, in fact, born in the state of Hawaii, Barack Obama is a 14th Amendment citizen because of the status of his mother being a natural-born citizen. His mother was a natural-born citizen. That would mean he is a 14th Amendment citizen because his father wasn't a citizen, so therefore he's a citizen. Assuming he is. However, there's considerable evidence that he may not have been born in Hawaii, but I'm conditioning my other statement on the fact that he wasn't. But I will grant you, if he was, in fact, born in Hawaii, then he's a 14th Amendment citizen, but he definitely cannot ever, by any rubric of traditional history, precedent, and understanding, in the various Supreme Court decisions on the subject, from the 1814 Venus Merchantman case, to Perkins versus Eld, to Habersat versus Mahler, to Wong Kim Ark versus United States. Under none of those rulings can he be considered a natural-born citizen eligible under Article 2 to be president. So again, now that I've straightened that out, I'm going to concede to you, Jay, he is a 14th Amendment citizen if he was born in Hawaii. If he wasn't, he's an illegal alien, just like Kamala Harris is.
Okay, and what is the citizenship law of the states of the union, please?
The citizenship laws regarding naturalization are one thing. The citizenship laws of birth are constitutional common law matter, and it is clear. If you are subject to the jurisdiction of the United States, and you were born on United States soil, now this is the key. This is a sticking point. And subject to the jurisdiction thereof. That's what everybody keeps either missing out. That's what Tyrone would not even speak to. He didn't even mention those words. And I will admit, there's a controversy as to what they mean, but there is no controversy about what the framers of the 14th Amendment meant them to mean.
but the jurisdiction thereof the state, right? So if the state of California,
no,
if the
to the
state
United
of California,
States.
Wait a minute, you got to let him finish, Sarge.
right? If the state of California also have laws containing citizenship and what is a resident and a citizen, because like states do have citizenship laws too, or it may be very limited, but you know the United States government takes more precedent over that. But you can't really, you know what? I'm gonna leave this alone. I'll let JNYC talk. I got other things I want to talk about.
Let me say this here about Kamala Harris. Guys, there's a landmark case, the United States versus Wong Kim Ark, and Wong Kim Ark had Chinese parents, and I got it on the screen. I got it on the screen right there, and it says
1890. It was like 1890 something, wasn't it?
1898. 1898.
1898 said that even though that their parents weren't born here, that because Wong Kim Ark was born in America, he was a citizen under the 14th Amendment. So that kind of knocks that Kamala Harris argument straight out of the window.
No, it doesn't.
Okay, well, I'm done. I got to let Jay talk, but I just want to educate the people as we go along with when you spewing this bullshit. So, Jay, what's up, man?
Well, I'll tell you why you're wrong, Tyrone. I can do it very succinctly. I know you're scared. But I'm
not scared, but go ahead.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Go ahead.
Let me tell you, I'll do it real quick. I don't ramble. You know me, I don't ramble. Let me get to it.
Okay.
What you ignored to say, and even on what you got on the screen, I'm looking at what you got on the screen right now. Mm-hmm. It says that Wong Kim Ark was a citizen under the 14th Amendment. Mm-hmm. A natural-born citizen is not a citizen under any rubric of the 14th Amendment. I am not a 14th Amendment citizen. I'm a natural-born citizen. Okay. My parents, both of them, were citizens of the United States at the time I was born. I was born in Chicago, Illinois, a state of the Union. There is no other country with a credible claim on my allegiance. I'm a natural-born citizen. What you're showing right there is a 14th Amendment citizen, Wong Kim Ark. His birth status, according to what was brought up in court in 1898, is identical to Kamala Harris's birth status.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Okay, stop talking. Can Wong Kim Ark run for president?
No, he's not a natural born citizen.
You're dumb. You're dumb. Shut the fuck up. I'm done. Anybody, listen, guys. I want to just let y'all know, if you're a 14th Amendment citizen, you are afforded every right in this country, including running for president. And
you don't have a right to be president. You have to qualify to be president.
I am talking. 14th Amendment citizens can run for president of the United States of America. Wong Kim Ark could have run for president. And Kamala Harris, if Sarge is saying that she's a 14th Amendment citizen, he's actually conceding that she can run for goddamn president.
Wait a minute. No, I'm not conceding that, sir. I'm not conceding that. I'm pointing out to you what you got on the screen. Now, with the case of Kamala Harris's particular case, I submit to you she is an illegal alien. And I'll tell you why. She's an illegal alien because her parents were here on temporary visas, both of them. Neither of them were legally domiciled or resident in the United States, as the Wong Kim Ark decision requires. That means that Kamala Harris is not even a 14th Amendment citizen. She's an illegal alien if you follow the logic of the Wong Kim Ark decision, because her parents were not legally resident nor legally domiciled, as you just put on the screen.
Okay, the 14th Amendment, Sarge, was a reaction to the Dred Scott decision, because the Dred Scott decision was because he's not a citizen because Dred Scott was a quote unquote black man who's a slave. Therefore, he could not be a citizen in the equal of the white man, of his white slave master. So therefore, though, Sarge, you are missing the point, because there is no two-step citizenship. Because the 14th Amendment in Article, I forgot the article about citizenship. I think Article 1. It's an amendment to tell you that black man that people who are former slaves are citizens, or anybody who's born within the United States are citizens.
No.
That's what it's saying.
Article 1 doesn't say anything about black people being citizens.
We're going to move past this And Section 1 of the 14th Amendment actually says the 14th is the 14th a goddamn amendment, and it says people are privy to the liberties of this goddamn country. So we're gonna go with J. New York. And
If
then
they
we're gonna go
are subject to the jurisdiction of the United States when they are born.
Okay, you can't.
I mean, I don't know why you keep avoiding those phrase. It matters.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is J.
And it's
New
not
York.
the partial jurisdiction; it's the total jurisdiction.
Woosah. J. New York, what's happening, man?
God, man, I know you. You must be like the Colorado Supreme Court that can't read the section in Section 4 that says Congress shall have the power to enforce the provisions of this article. You can't read either.
Sarge, we go through this every goddamn week. Clearly, you cannot read.
I know, and you keep losing.
It's not a matter of me losing.
And you're going to lose this one.
It's not a matter of me losing. Listen, let me say this right here. Shut up. Let me say this right here. The only way that this 14th Amendment thing changes, right, is Donald Trump has a Supreme Court that is heavily in his favor. We've seen this Supreme Court do unconstitutional acts in the past. We've seen that. So the only way that this changes is if they change the goddamn 14th Amendment, rewrite what the law actually says, and change what it says right here on the goddamn screen. That's the only fucking way. So that doesn't make you right. That means that you're moving the goalposts. That means that you guys are cheating. You're changing the fucking rules. That's what that means. It doesn't mean that you're right.
I just cited to you precedent involving this matter, which you ignore or ignorant of. I would advise you to read the precedential rulings that I cited. I'll start with the Venus Merchantman case of 1814. I will then refer you to Perkins versus Elg, then Minor versus Happersett, then a correct reading of Wong Kim Mark versus United States, and you will see that according to those rulings, I am correct.
Sarge.
I've read them, sir.
Okay, listen.
Because I've been going over this thing.
Okay, listen, you're going to have to shut the hell up. You're going to have to shut. I'm not
I have read every one of them.
Why? Okay, J. New York, open your damn mouth, because I ain't trying to talk to this moron no goddamn more.
Well, hopefully you don't interrupt. Nah,
Jesus.
Hey, man, we got the first what, weekend? Half a week, and he's going in with a bang. I think he's a boulder. He's mentally he's hyped up. They put a battery on his back because again, there was a portion of this country that voted, and the majority of the people voted for him. So I think that the man has gotten a misconception, misinterpretation, kind of disillusioned, but also, emboldenment, because there is a portion of this country that, voted for this man, and, so here he is doing what he's doing. They did some raids, I think, in Newark, and it's starting. So I just hope that that the man doesn't completely destroy this country, but we already know that there's going to be some problems because he's already, he's setting things off, little time bombs and, confusion and, I guess, look here while I do this. So I just think, Democrats, I'm gonna put the spotlight on the Democrats. This is your time. This is your time to get your shit in order, gather up intel, and get ready, for what's to come, because it's gonna be a raft. And if this guy goes unhinged, he's gonna do whatever he wants. But as much as he says that he got a mandate, we see that to get the people voted in that he wants for his cabinet is actually they have a slim majority. So we're gonna see what happens. I mean, I knew this was gonna be an entertainment TV show, every day something, and I blame also all the media channels, including CNN, MSNBC. We already know Fox and the other ones are full of shit, but CNN and MSNBC can join that, because you know, I mean, of course, they had to cover the inauguration, but the conversations that were being spoken of, how the description of things, you know, for a man that these media channels described as, you know, a threat to the, you know, to this country, to, you know, civilization. You know, so did the Democrats that are in, you know, position of power, you know, describing Donald Trump as how dangerous he is, which he is. But, you know, I don't know how these people, somebody that said that, how, you know, you can be cordial and respectful, but, you know, how these people are kissing up to these Republicans, you know, and I'm talking specifically on Democrats, you know, party is mind-boggling. And how, you know, I know entertainers are entertainers, you know, and I guess they're at the bottom line, or their bottom line is really just about themselves, you know. So this is pertaining to our hip hop community and people that claim that they're part of the hip hop culture and all this shit. You know, I know that we have people, there's all type of people in hip hop culture, but you know, it's surprising people, you know, compromise their morality, you know, when they're already making money, to go even more, you know, farther than that, extend, you know, themselves as, you know, again, something that they're part of or trying to be part of that doesn't care about them. And, you know, for whatever reason, these people gravitate. And again, you know, this money thing is like, you know, we're learning that this country, you know, as much as a lot of people complain about China and all these countries trying to take over or steal, or, you know, all these things that happen, and or accusations, when this country is like a prostitute, is a whore. It's a whore that's ready to get it all the time for whatever price. And so, because people in this government currently, and some of them that were in the past, you know, are willing to take the envelope and, you know, do whatever they want. We've seen the social media people and all these millionaires and billionaires bend over, you know, and again, I know that they have financial interests. Doesn't mean that you got to be like an enemy to, you know, the president or whatever. But I'm just saying, the ass kissing that's going on, wow. They should just get on their knees, put on a dress, put on a makeup, and, you know, and be that other gender that you are aspiring or acting to be, because you're showing yourself, including some people that's on here. You know, it's mind-boggling, and I hate to say, even in some of my friends, a small portion, and some family members. So it's crazy to see what I'm seeing, you know. But yeah, get ready for the Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey Circus Lash 4-year show. This is it. So put on your seatbelts. Some of the show might end up on the audience and the crowd, so be careful and wear your helmets, because this shit's gonna be a crazy ride.
Yeah, I agree with you, Jay. Like I said last week, this is different. This is different, and I think that you're watching Project 2025 be enacted, because the videos that I did see, people was handing Donald Trump these black binders, and he didn't even seem to know what executive orders he was signing, which means somebody had wrote up those executive orders ahead of time, and I think that's part of the Project 2025 going on. Elisa, welcome to the show. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing okay. How are you doing, Tyrone?
All right.
Oh, real quick, when you was talking about the DEI, I just wanted to say, DEI, yes, I do agree with you. I think the ultimate goal probably is us.
Yeah.
But DEI, it does affect white women disproportionately. And this, getting rid of all of this as far as what he's trying to do on the federal level and trying to get private industry to do it as well. Some companies has already announced, and some said, and some of them said no, but it's going to disproportionately affect them as well because we cannot ignore they're trying to get them barefoot and pregnant back in the house. And how all of these men, with everything really, with the way society is, the cost of living, how they intend to take care of all these women and these babies is beyond me. But anyway, and it's gonna affect those with disabilities, those suffering from Alzheimer's, and also senior citizens as well, who, because they're all a part of that group, who those that work and different things who are still working, it's going to affect a lot of people. So it's not just us. And then some of the reading and things that I was doing today, with a lot of those layoffs, not layoffs, but they sent the people home on paid leave from their job, and that they have to be who work in diversity, equity, and that I think they have a week or two or whatever it is to dismiss and whatever it is in the federal agencies. From my understanding and from what I'm reading, when I was hearing a lot of that, like somebody was telling me today, somebody you all know, was like, y'all just want to be in fear. No, I just want to find out what's going on. I want to get the facts. I want to get to Googling, find out what's going on. Because a lot of that, it is devastating, a lot of the things that's going on right now. But then after reading, yes, it's still going to affect us. But they were saying that the majority of those who are about to lose their job, that's just white women. When the stats and things that I was reading, that's the majority of those who are sent home with pay, and their job is going to be no more. Then it's white women, the majority of them. Of course, there's some other people, there's some sprinkles of other people mixed in that, because they disproportionately benefit from all of that. So, and this is a horrible thing that I'm getting ready to say. I don't give two shits about them, except those who had a brain and was trying to, had a brain and saw the clown car and saw all of this horror that's happening right now. Except for those that didn't, I don't give two cents about them. I really don't. And Tyrone, another thing I have to admit that I was incorrect. I was getting ready to look his name up, but I really don't even care. I was incorrect about the guy that they're trying to put ahead of for all of the Department of Defense. What's his name? The drunk sexual abuser.
Yeah.
Hegseth.
Yeah. Whatever his name. Yeah, him. The drunk sexual abuser
and drunk. White
supremacist woman hater. Alcoholic.
He can't hold his liquor either.
Yeah, so him, that straight down party lines, the Senate pushed him through. So we have to see.
This is white America, y'all. This is white America in 2025. For all y'all to know, on the record.
So I was just like, ain't no way they're going to push a drunk through like that.
Oh,
and from what I was listening to, when he was being, questioned and this and that, the fact that he was drunk at work and drunk at this and that, but what I was understanding was some of the politicians were saying that automatically should be disqualifying. But I guess it's not. So they don't care. They don't care anymore. It's just they don't care. So I was very incorrect. That kind of took me aback. So I expected they're probably going to push through Kennedy, who is not qualified, and a lot of different other people that's qualified. These people don't care that you got these other countries out here, China and Russia and all of them. They sit and they're laughing and they're waiting to pounce as we go down. I would love to know what these people got on Trump, because he came in like a bull with some of this stuff. A lot of the things that he's not going to be able to do because it takes an act of Congress and different things like that. But it's just the bravado of all of these things that he is signing. These people don't care. And I'm about to say something that sounds awful. Part of it, you have a lot of old ass people, and I don't like to get into this conversation of being an ageist or this and that, but I'm talking about the white ones. And then some of the silly ones that are, I don't know if they claim our community or not, but their skin is up in it. Whether they claim it or not, their skin is in our community. They don't care about other people. They don't care that none of us is going to be here always, and that people are going to evolve, and that people are going to change, and people are going to look at things different and want things different and do things different. They don't care. They want it their way. They want it to be this. And then I'm also going to say this. White men, since the inception of this country and before this country, they have always put hurdles and want to put hurdles. And when, who was that? Yeshua, when he was saying that it was just all odd to him that people with the same skin color that's in our community don't know what they claim. They could identify something else. And see, that's another thing. Some of them don't want to identify as being black, but then they want to tell people from the LGBTQ plus IA community how they should identify the way I want you to. Y'all peep that out. Anyway, white men, since we all can think back of what we've always been taught, they love to put hurdles on others. They do. Because they don't want competition. Because they're fearful of competition. Because they don't want to be exposed. That they are not supreme. They are not the best. They have to have that little extra oomph to give them so that they're able to do. You see what I'm saying? They're fearful of competition. So if you were so supreme, you wouldn't have to do all of this. If you was the best, you wouldn't have to do all of these things. You wouldn't have to do this trying to marginalize and hold other people, even women. You wouldn't have to do all of that if you was all that. And again, I will repeat this again. Yahshua was on the money. To hear people whose skin color is probably considered part of our community, to up in them on things like this that they do, they're not going to let you pop no collar alongside them. They don't like you. And just like Snoop Dogg, I'll say this little part about him performing, just him. The rest of them, I can care less. I really could care less about him. But we were always told, my grandfather, my mom's dad, my mom, my dad, they will always say, rest in peace, not my mom, but my dad, my granddad, and rest in peace. White people don't like people like that. They will use you for whatever the reason that these men and these people that do these things, they will allow you to debase yourself, but they don't like you. And Elon Musk jumped right up on Twitter, and clown the hell out of Snoop Dogg. He also posted that video of Snoop Dogg talking about which one of you jigaboos of this. Elon posted, he said something about, man, so look how the time changed or how people's thoughts change. And he knew what he was doing. He clowned him. And it was so funny to me when D.L. Hughley posted up under there, hashtag Snoop Dogg. Look how they do you. They don't like people like you. They'll have more respect for Malcolm X or somebody else who resists that stuff than they do for you all who debase yourself, pushing this type of stuff up. I just don't get it. But yes, this is awful time. I still have hope. I don't know about Jay, because we both last week said, and some other people, that we still have hope. I still have hope. that they're going to take it too far, and that, but they have taken it. It's just going to get awful. Yes, I still have hope that the wheels is going to fall off this clown show. And that's when it's really going to get bad, because trying to what to do with this, what to do, how to fix it, this is going to get bad. But the wheels are going to fall off, because when you come out this aggressive with a lot of bravado, things that you cannot do, it's not a good sign to come. And the wheels is going to fall off this thing, because none of them don't like one another. They're all liars and cheats and scammers.
Fighting too.
And the inner fighting, Elon Musk bust Trump them out, what, this morning or yesterday, on that AI stuff that Trump.
He's talking publicly.
And he said it was a lie. He said it's all a lie and a scam. He's a lie and a scam. And them old sycophants, Luma, and them, don't say that about the president. You should, I think he posted a crack pipe. Anybody who believes that this is I screamed, Jay. I screamed when I saw that.
They inner fighting. He's outbursting. This is
not going good with him. No, it's not. He came out straight and said that if Trump said up to 500 billion or whatever that was, whatever that number was they made up. And he said this is a lie. And he posted the crack pipe. Anybody who believes this,
Yeah, because they're supposed to be trying to come out with this AI Stargate program, and they're asking for all this money. So, but what they're doing is
that shit.
They're trying to
wanted in, and they left them out the meeting. That's what they was explaining yesterday.
Yeah.
Whatever happened, the AI people, they told them, listen, keep that guy out of here. And
well,
Donald
what I'm trying
Trump,
to say, I know they're going to have their arguments, but what I'm trying to tell the American people is that they're prepping you, so whenever they start taking all of this goddamn money, they're going to tell you that Stargate is the reason that they have to spend all this money.
Oh, Stargate,
Stargate is the reason that the debt has to be limited. Stargate the reason why we got to raise the debt, all that bullshit.
But when as it relates to that, Elon, that man, he's on the spectrum. Yes, he is. He has no self-wherewithal. But I will take his word on they don't have this money. This is all a scam. Why? Because he said litigation with them. Because they didn't allow him up and they kicked him out. They started the nonprofit thing and they did this. So he said litigation with them. He know how much they got and what they able to do. So I believe that part of it. And they in a fight that they done kicked Vivek to the curb. I just think the wheels.
They got rid of his Indian ass, didn't they?
So I mean, Trump administration was a clown car the last time, and it was just one mess and foolishness. We wake up in the morning, it was something new. It was another lie. It was not being able to face this. So let me take a Sharpie and change the direction of a hurricane. Let me do. That was every day that we were going through that. And this term is going to be much worse because he lines up. I don't think they're going to figure out a way to keep him in there. Right now they're trying to figure out a successor. And then he embarrassed the hell out of J.D. Vance when Vance was asked about those commuting, those January, and pardoning those January 6th insurrectionists and rioters, dangerous felons. Vance said, I don't know if y'all remember the interview. He was on one of the CNNs or the MSNBCs, one of the Sunday shows, whatever that was. He said, we're going to take a look at that. And some of the most, I think J.D. Vance, who I think is a lawyer himself, that, runs a lot of those who got, misdemeanors. And basically that's what he was saying. Some of the lesser, Trump just undercut him. No, we not. We give it a blanket. We everybody. And I will inform you that I was watching some of them, Enrique and some of them other real dangerous ones. They already talking about buying guns, and they don't show them to do buying guns and different things that they're going to do. They threatening already, and they out here on the street.
Yep, retribution.
But these people, Retribution, they don't care. These white folks don't give a goddamn about this country, and those who got skin color that would normally be in our community, they don't care either. Because they
Some
just
of them
wanted their own.
are as much as an enemy as that other person.
So they don't. People, they don't care. They would rather throw everything away. And Putin and them just embarrassing them all on Russian state TV, which he controls. China and all of them, they just embarrassing Trump because Trump's scared of them. I mean, this is just a sick clown show. Clown show.
You see the mentality because the first thing Sarge did when he called in was try to validate everything that Trump was saying, even though Trump is doing everything against the damn law, against the Constitution, and that's the mindset of
and
those
against
people.
The country.
Yeah, that's the mindset of those people that support them. They don't care, you know. When they released those January 6 people, those people, we got video of them beating up police, tasing police. All that shit, and they just released a whole bunch of criminals on the goddamn street. What happened to law and order?
Yeah, what happened to support the blue? And he pardoned them cops that killed that black guy here in D.C. And
did Donald Trump ever proclaim an expired constitutional amendment, the law of the land, like senile Joe did?
What's that,
buddy? Talk about no respect for the Constitution. I can't think of a worse example on that. He just up and declared the Equal Rights Amendment to be the law of the land, and the damn thing expired in 1982.
Okay, so that's a red herring.
I guess we're supposed to notice that, right?
Okay, that's a red herring. But we're not talking about that.
Anyway, didn't he?
We're not talking about
that. Donald Trump released some dangerous. We're not talking about that. You arrested nothing. Donald Trump released dangerous, violent people back on the street, and one of them they did rearrested because he went straight and had a gun. So that's one good thing. But they released all the violent people back out on the street, and no telling what they will do and what havoc they can cause. And this is the thing. In the beginning, they said it was H's and people subversives and Antifa were some people that ran up in there. Remember, they said that, and Donald Trump always stuck to that. Then why did you pardon Antifa and all them people? Because you knew that was a lie.
I remember Sarge telling me that he wouldn't agree with those January 6 people being released. So I don't know. He probably changed his mind now.
That's not what I said. Now I'll tell you what I said because I know better than you because you never get what I say right.
You said it, Sarge. You said you
I know.
wouldn't agree.
I'll tell you what I said. You're lying about what I said.
You said
I'll
that
tell you what I said.
I'm gonna tell you. You said that you didn't.
Well, you're lying about it if you say anything but what I said.
You said that you didn't think that the most violent criminals should be released out of January 6th.
Yes, and I still think that I should. It's not my choice to make because I don't have the pardon power. The president does. And here's the big difference. The difference is that every one of the people he pardoned went through the adjudication process either by an indictment, a conviction, a pretrial detention, still in a pretrial detention. Every single one of them has gone through the judicial process at some level. He did not give anyone a crime for something that might happen in the future. No pre-crime pardons.
Nobody's talking about that, Sarge. We're talking
about... Yeah, well, I know I am because you won't.
Nobody's talking about that. We're talking about him releasing criminals on the street, and you clearly agree. Well, you clearly agree with what Donald Trump did. Do you agree with him or not?
I just said Sarge, who doesn't have pardon power, would not have pardoned people who attack police officers violently. I would pardon everybody else.
Okay, so right, Donald Trump. Wait a minute, hold on. Donald Trump did pardon people who attack people violently, and I'm asking you. Shut up! I'm asking you. Do you agree with Donald Trump that pardon people who attack the people violently?
Am I not speaking loud enough for you?
No, I need a yes or no from you.
Let me say again what I just said. Sarge does not agree with pardoning people who violently attack police officers, but I don't have that power. If anybody I would pardon.
Okay, so I heard you. So you and I.
To me, it's up to the president, and I can live with his decision.
Okay, so you and I both agree that Donald Trump's first days in office is making bad decisions. This is a bad decision to pardon those goddamn.
I don't agree. It differs from my opinion. That's what you say. Don't put words in my mouth. That's what I say. You never say what I say accurately. Never.
You just said you don't agree with him. You just said it. You just said you don't agree with the violent offenders being pardoned. You just said that. So
that doesn't mean it's a bad decision. What? Do you think the world's rising the sets of Sarge's ass? No, it doesn't.
Sarge, you said in the beginning before he became president.
Look, his opinion doesn't have to be mine.
Hold on. You said before he became president, a few days before that you're going to call him out when he fucks up. So just be a straight up motherfucker.
I don't think he fucked up, Kay. You do.
There you go.
You can do it if you want to, Kay. Don't tell me to do something that I don't agree is a fuck up.
So you don't. No. So we're clear that you don't think he fucked up in that. That's all I want to know. That's
we just have a disagreement. That's it. I don't think it's a fuck up. You do.
Okay, right. We disagree,
but
he can never fuck up because he's not a fuck up. He doesn't fuck up anything. He's just always.
Now you're saying something I didn't say. Now this is your words, not mine.
Let me ask you. Let me
put your words as mine.
In addition, do you agree? Do you agree or disagree for him letting out the Silk Road website CEO?
Wait a minute. Say that again.
The guy from Silk Road that was distributing drugs and guns on the internet. Remember that he had the website called Silk Road that the FBI was investigating him? Do you remember? And they gave him life in prison, and Donald Trump let him out. Do you know that?
I'm not familiar with the case, and since I'm not going to make any comment on it one way or the other. I may or may not be in favor.
Sarge, listen, in the news years ago, we spoke about that case here, and you were here when we spoke about the guy from. So maybe you don't remember.
No, I don't remember it, and I'm not familiar with it, so I can't make a comment on one way or the other. I only comment on things I'm familiar with and know something about.
I would advise you to take a look into that, and so you be more familiarized with what he just did with this guy, and he let him out. That's
all right. I'll take a look through it. I've got a note. I'm jotting it down. I'm going to look it up, and you know me. I'm going to follow through, and I'm going to give you my opinion about it when I become more informed of it. I don't run away from nothing. I'm not a cultist for Donald Trump. If he does something wrong, I'm going to call it. If I think it's wrong, I'm going to call it out. I can have a disagreement about him and not think he's wrong. He's just going to have the same opinion Sarge has got. Like I said, I'm not the president.
All right, so hold on. Let me see what's on this phone call, and I want to see if this is Ann Coulter talking shit about Vivek.
You are so bright and articulate, and I guess I can call you articulate since you're not an American black. Can't say that about them. That's derogatory. And that was a great opening segment. Lots of things to talk about there. Oh, and I agreed with many things you said during, in fact, probably more than most other candidates when you were running for president. But I still would not have voted for you because you're an Indian. We'll get back to that.
All right, Mama's Boy, welcome to the show.
Tyrone, wait a minute, Tyrone. Let me read this to bring everybody up to date. Trump pardoned Silk Road founder Ross Ulbricht for online drug scheme. U.S. President Donald Trump on Tuesday pardoned Silk Road founder Ross Ulbricht, who was sentenced to life in prison for running an underground online marketplace where drug dealers and others conducted more than $200 million in illicit trade using Bitcoin. The Republican president made good on the campaign pledge to steal Ulbricht, 40, who was arrested in 2013 and sentenced in 2015, and what became a landmark U.S. prosecution launched only a few years after the emergence of the popular cryptocurrency. The scum that worked to convict him were some lunatics who were involved in modern-day weaponization of government against me, Trump said in a post on her social media platform, Truth Social. Trump said the pardon was full and unconditional and said he called Ulbricht's mother to break the news to her. Ulbricht was released from federal prison in Arizona late on Tuesday following Trump's announcement, according to the Federal Bureau of Prison Records. After enduring over a decade of incarceration, this decision offers Ross the opportunity to begin anew, to rebuild his life, and to continue to positively to society. Brandon Sappett, Albright's clemency attorney, said in a statement. Trump's administration is expected to significantly reverse course on what had been a crackdown by regulators. And he did this for the crypto because of regulators. That's why he did that. He don't care what this dude did on the cryptocurrency sector during the former Democratic president Biden's tenure. Trump had announced plans to commute Albright's sentence in May during a speech at the Libertarian National Convention. The Libertarian Party has advocated for drug legalization and pushed for Albright's release, calling the case an example of government overreach. Now, I'm going to let that go. I'm not going to read anymore. And it was all done. So the Bitcoin people wanted him out.
Yeah,
and they paid him.
He gonna
and the amount of drugs and guns and prostitution and everything that went on that on Silk Road on the dark web.
Yeah, he's going to end up in Trump's cabinet.
He got paid. He got paid to do it.
He's going to end up in Trump's cabinet. I guarantee you.
I'm sorry, Mama's boy. I just had to get that out because I forgot about that. I forgot. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
What's that?
We had to highlight that. That was another highlight.
I'm really simple here. I distinctly remember Sarge saying that if Trump does something that he's against, he's going to speak out for it. And this was before he won. I remember these conversations. We had them all summer. We kept bringing up scenarios that were reported on that Trump said he would do, that Sarge would say he had no information on at the time. But if what we said was true, he would be against it. Well, Sarge, how about that 14th Amendment rescission? You should be talking shit right now about your president because that's one of those issues. Now, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut up, man.
Hold on, Sarge. You get a turn, man.
I'm not finished.
Okay, guys, let's calm down one at a time now. Go ahead, Mama's boy.
Why should I say something that I agree with?
Okay, you'll get a chance to speak.
I agree 100% with it.
You'll get a chance to speak after he's done, though. Let him finish.
That's all I'm trying to do is finish. You said you speak out against him. And you said at the time, I've heard you say it on many occasions, that he wouldn't do it. He wouldn't suspend the 14th Amendment. Y'all are making too much. Why are you talking? Why are you talking? Why the fuck are you talking? Why are you talking? Why are you talking?
Something that you said, I said. And
why are you talking? Why are you talking? Why are you talking?
Not say it.
Why are you talking?
Sorry, come on, man.
You did say he wouldn't do it.
Says you. You lie about me continuously.
Sarge, I don't have a problem with lying on you, but this ain't lying on you.
All right, look, he said, she said, I'm going to leave it right there, and I'm he, you she.
No, we can, listen. Calm down.
Right now,
calm down, sir.
My sentiments on the application of the 14th Amendment 1,000%. What in the hell, what did I say? You ever listen to me since 2008?
There you go. I ain't even got to say no more. There you go, dumbass. Well, it got blocked. Obviously, a judge didn't feel the same way y'all dumbasses do.
It's a temporary restraining order, you simple Simon. Look it up. It ain't permanent.
What the hell are you talking about?
It is a temporary restraining order for 2 weeks until both parties get their briefs together in support of why the temporary restraining order should become a permanent one or until it should be lifted. It is not. The judge has to hear the other side's case first.
No, listen. The reason.
Even then, it's going to go to the federal district court. Then it's going to go to the federal appellate court, and then it's going to go to the Supreme Court. So we'll get a final ruling on us, and it ain't going to stop with this judge. I can bloody well guarantee you that.
No, it's not going to stop with the judge. No, nobody said that it was, but the judge was clear in his decision and telling everybody that this executive order, based off of his years of knowledge, was unconstitutional. That's the angle that I approach the conversation.
He ain't supposed to say that till he reads both sides' briefs.
Okay, listen. I really wish you wouldn't talk when I talk, because I don't talk a lot, but you do. So let me finish with what I'm saying, and you can finish with what you're saying. You're right. The judge temporarily blocked the executive order from being implemented, and then Trump is going to appeal it, and it'll probably get appealed all the way to the Supreme Court, right? But the point that we need to look at is that this judge that was appointed by Ronald Reagan told us that he thinks that this executive order is unconstitutional. We should give that judge credit, because Trump has not been on the bench. Sarge has not been on the bench. Sarge have not been to fucking law school. Trump has not been to law school. And the person interpreting the law, the Constitution, the 14th Amendment, is somebody who probably studied that field of study. So he has an edge on all of us even having this conversation. But because because Sarge is indoctrinated and programmed, whatever Donald Trump says is what he's going to go by. Just like when he got in here, I agree with the executive orders. The executive orders is Donald Trump making up shit and signing it, along with the goddamn Project 2025 people. So that's all
okay,
I'm saying.
Tyrone, the Colorado Supreme Court, every one of the credentials that you said this guy's got, and they got reversed 9-0 by the Supreme Court. 9-0 almost never happens. And second of all, look, this judge is not supposed to be issuing his opinions about it until he reads both parties' briefings, because he's not supposed to make up his mind until he reads what they say. It's entirely possible, although I don't think it will happen, but it's entirely possible that the judge might agree with Trump on this and lift his temporary restraining order. At least that's the way it's supposed to be theoretically. But he's making a public statement about it that he believes is unconstitutional, and he hasn't even seen the other. He's not acting as an impartial arbiter.
Okay, whatever. Listen, the 14th
So
Amendment.
I guess you don't understand that, because all you want is an activist court. And you don't seem to understand what a judge's role is in the judicial system. Maybe that judge doesn't either. Oh, maybe I can't say that because I don't have a degree.
Listen, you dumb bitch. What you're supporting is an activist fucking court. An activist court that overturned goddamn Roe versus Wade. That's precedents have been set for years in this goddamn country. An activist court that gave President Trump, this fucking piece of shit, immunity over what the fuck he does in that goddamn office. An activist court that actually misinterpreted that fucking goddamn portion of the Constitution that says if you're involved in this insurrection that was decided by the Colorado court, that you can't run for goddamn president. You're supporting an activist court, you moron. An activist court that has Clarence Thomas out here spending money like he's a goddamn stripper on a guy, just slanging fucking money, taking money. Judge Kavanaugh is out there fucking with people, sexually harassing people. You support an activist court, you fucking moron. What is wrong with you? Good Lord.
The Supreme Court made its decision after hearing both parties' arguments before a full court. You don't seem to understand that distinction because you're a fucking idiot.
Okay, I'll be your idiot, but don't accuse me of some shit that you're doing. And that is exactly what you guys
well, don't call it an activist court until it is an activist court, and it makes rulings that are completely at odds with the Constitution. The Hobbs decision was completely consonant with the 10th Amendment of the United States Constitution.
The decision that is at odds with the Constitution is when they gave President Trump immunity. That is completely odds with the laws of this land, because no one is supposed to be above the law, including the goddamn president. But when the Supreme Court said that president, and only that president, has immunity for duties that he performed in office, that is above the goddamn Constitution. You fucking moron. What is wrong with you? Are you fucking retarded?
All right, one more time. After the court reaches a decision after hearing both parties, whether you or I agree with it is irrelevant. What I'm going to look at is if the decision bears any relationship to the United States Constitution, because the only criteria for the decision is supposed to be whether or not the action in question is constitutional or not. And the Dobbs decision was completely consistent with the 10th Amendment to the United States Constitution. Whether you like it or or not.
So do you think that the immunity decision was constitutional?
Yes.
Okay, well, you're an idiot. Nowhere in the Constitution does it say that the President of the United States can have immunity in office.
Nowhere in the Constitution says he has classification power either. It's an inherent power of the office.
No,
another
listen.
concept you don't understand.
Where in the Constitution, besides this fucking Supreme Court ruling of recent, does it shut the fuck up, nigga? I'm asking you. You said you want to stick to the goddamn Constitution. Besides this Supreme Court decision on immunity, where in the Constitution does it say that the president is immune as long as he's in office? Give me that. Give me the 1800s fucking goddamn insertion of that shit. Tell me when the fucking founding fathers said that one motherfucker is immune in this goddamn country. Tell me when, Sarge. That's all I want to hear from you, nigga. Tell me when.
It doesn't say anywhere in the Constitution that the president has classification authority. It is one of those inherent powers that comes with the office. There are many inherent offices powers that come with the office. You are a moron who is incapable of understanding such a thing. Implied inherent powers.
Let me show you how dumb you are. Listen, motherfucker.
Not even mentioned in the Constitution has his immunity.
Okay, so shut up. See, this guy is stupid. If it was an inherent power, Richard Nixon would not have gotten impeached. Donald Trump, if it was an inherent power, Donald Trump would have not gotten impeached twice because they performed all of those goddamn actions that they did while they was fucking in office. The Supreme Court in 2024 made that bullshit up to protect Donald Trump from damn doing wrong shit in office, just like he did when he signed these goddamn unconstitutional and unlawful executive orders that he just fucking signed, because some of those signatures with him repealing the fucking 14th Amendment or some parts of the Civil Rights Act and all that kind of bullshit, he can be impeached for that shit. He can be impeached for these damn executive orders, but now he can't. So don't you tell me that shit was in the goddamn inherent fucking powers that belong to the goddamn president. If it was, you wouldn't have a goddamn impeachment proceeding, you fucking moron. So shut the hell up.
Where's this anybody executive powers, you goddamn asshole? Nowhere. But the president makes executive orders, does he? You're full of shit. Let me tell you one goddamn thing here. Nixon was not impeached. He was not impeached. What he did was to cover up a crime, and he perjured himself about it. That's why he got in trouble. But he did not get impeached. He resigned before he did. You don't even know a goddamn thing, do you?
What I'm telling you is whatever the fuck Nixon did, if he had these fairy tale powers that you're talking about, he could not have been held accountable because he would have been immune. That's the overall point that I'm trying to make, motherfucker. Don't be trying to play fucking semantics with me. You know what the fuck I'm saying. If he would have these goddamn made up powers that you're talking about, he wouldn't have had to resign. None of that shit would have went on because he was the president, and they would have said, okay, since you the president, you can get away with it. If this power you talking about exists, when Donald Trump made that call to Zelensky trying to fuck with our elections, he would not have been impeached because they would have said you're immune. When Donald Trump tried to overturn the goddamn election, they wouldn't have impeached his ass because they would have said you're immune. But they didn't. The only time that this came into play is when Donald Trump was running for office and he had all of these goddamn cases against him. The fucking Florida case with the goddamn taking the records, the damn January the 6th case, all these fucking cases that Donald Trump was involved in. The Supreme Court gave him a blanket motherfucking cover and tried to protect this motherfucker while he was in office. That's the only motherfucker. You don't believe in the goddamn Constitution. You guys are rewriting the rules as it goes along, and then you're trying to validate it, but you're talking to the wrong motherfucker.
Where does it say in Article 2 of the Constitution or any of the subsequent amendments whether Barack Obama, Joe Biden, or Donald Trump can issue executive orders? I want you to point to me the requisite top division in the Constitution, you stupid son of a bitch. Where does it say it?
In the Constitution, where it says it at, is whenever he take his oath of office, and he says that, where is it at? I just pulled it up. Whenever he takes his oath, he said that he's going to, it says, I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will faithfully execute the office of the President of the United States and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the motherfucking Constitution. That is the oath that man take before he takes the goddamn office. So yeah, it says it in the goddamn Constitution. It says it in the oath of the goddamn president, and that's what the fuck he's supposed to do, and he doesn't. Jesus Christ, are you a fucking moron? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Nigga, executive orders and immunity are implied powers of the office of president. You don't understand that. You're incapable of understanding because you're a fucking moron with Trump derangement syndrome. Now, you better look at all the powers that the president regularly exercises, none of which are listed in the Constitution. You want me to give you a list?
Let me say this right here. Shut up. Listen, what Sarge is saying is that whenever the president take that oath that I just read, that he can go back and reverse himself from defending and protecting the Constitution by writing executive orders that go directly against the Constitution. That is not why you take the motherfucking oath. You take the oath to uphold and defend and protect the goddamn Constitution. So anything, including the goddamn 14th Amendment and birthright citizenship that is in the Constitution, is supposed to be protected by that motherfucking office. And that is what he did not do in that executive order. He wrote something that was contradictory and trying to remove a section of the Constitution that's saying when you born in this country, you're a goddamn citizen. So Sarge, you're full of shit. You're trying to rewrite what the fuck the Constitution said. It ain't nothing but a couple of goddamn words. And because you're so fucking bogged down and programmed and cult-minded that you want to damn discard what the fucking 14th Amendment said because this son of a bitch wrote an inaccurate goddamn executive order. It's just illegal. It's not fucking... I don't know what the fuck to say to you. Why am I talking to you about this? This is stupid. This is stupid. I don't know. So... whatever you say, I know that you programmed to goddamn say it. Because the 14th Amendment says what it says. And if...
all you tell me about is what you know some asshole say on CNN or MSNBC. They don't know shit either, and they're passing their ignorance on your stupid ass.
Sarge, what I do every week is I read the 14th Amendment. This ain't got shit to do with CNN.
Oh, you read the 14th Amendment every week. Well, why did you miss that goddamn part about the Congress shall have the power to enforce the provisions of this article? Why did you miss that, you goddamn idiot?
Sorry, I don't.
You must have missed that part.
I don't miss a word.
Read it every week, huh?
Yeah,
Please.
because I have to talk to motherfuckers like you. But the 14th Amendment says what it says, and it says that if you're born here, you're a citizen. And we gave you the case of Juan Arc or whatever his name is. That was a Chinese.
And subject to the jurisdiction thereof.
Okay, you misinterpreting that. Now I don't want to go over this.
All I gotta do is cite the Supreme Court case that's supporting me, not your stupid ass, and you don't even know them.
I don't want to take up time.
And every time I cite them to you, you don't go look them up yourself. Even though if you did, you probably couldn't read, you illiterate bastard. But if you read them, you see they support what I say.
They don't, Sarge. I don't know what else to say. You're misinterpreting the and jurisdiction thereof, and I've explained it to you over and over again. And you just don't understand it, I guess. I don't know why you're misinterpreting it. It just means that...
Okay, this is what irritates me about you.
Okay, shut up. Okay, listen, you're not going to cut me off. Listen, it just means, and it says it right there. All persons born, stop right there, is talking about the baby, right? Because you're born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof, which means you're subject to the laws of this goddamn land. You was born, and that makes you subject to the laws of this goddamn land because you're a baby, you're a citizen in the United States of America. Are citizens because you came out of somebody's womb and you're now on this land. You're a citizen of the United States of the Army, wherein they reside, wherever the fuck you was born at, right? And it tells you, no state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of the United States, which includes running for goddamn president of the United States, which includes being protected from being ejected like you're a fucking illegal immigrant. That's what the fuck that says. Nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of the law. If you are accused of anything in this country, you have to go through the court system, through due process, and tried, right? nor deny any persons within its jurisdiction the protection and equal protection of the law, which means you're protected by this motherfucking Constitution because you was born on this goddamn soil. All of this dumb shit that Sarge is saying about natural born citizenship and birth 14th Amendment citizen, none of that applies because as a 14th Amendment citizen, after the damn Dred Scott fucking decision, they made everybody that was being born in this goddamn country because of us, African American slaves, descendants or whatever. They said, okay, since you're born here, you're a goddamn citizen. That's all the fuck it says. So Donald Trump is saying that because you are a Mexican coming across the southern border and you have a baby here, then that baby does not qualify up under this 14th Amendment. That is not true. Now, slavery started this whole goddamn thing, right? But since you are in this country, maybe the forefathers didn't have the forethought of considering migrants. That was their bad. That you can't go back and undo that shit. Now, the 14th Amendment says what it says. If you're born in this goddamn country, you are a citizen of this country. And we're not the only country in the world that has birthright citizenship. I believe Canada has birthright citizenship. And I can't think of another country right now. But this is not the only country that has birthright citizenship. So birthright citizenship is a thing. Donald Trump is trying to undo it. Sarge always called in here and claimed that he was a constitutionalist. I'm proving that this motherfucker is full of shit tonight because the 14th Amendment is getting attacked head on, and this son of a bitch is trying to defend the ripping up of the Constitution. That's all he's trying to do, and it's not going to fly past me, you fucking moron. So, and then not only that, they confirmed the 14th Amendment with that damn Chinese guy that I showed you guys early that was born of immigrant parents. His parents were Chinese. He was born in the United States of America. When he tried to come back in the country, they said that he couldn't come back because he was a citizen. He wasn't a citizen. So he had to take it to the court, to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said on March 28, 1898, the Supreme Court issued a landmark decision, United States versus Juan Kim Ark, holding that children born in the United States, even to parents that are not eligible to become citizens, immigrants, were nonetheless citizens themselves of the 14th Amendment of the United States Constitution. This is the Supreme Court in 1898. So what this motherfucker and Donald Trump is talking about is they full of shit. It is clear there has been decisions supporting the goddamn 14th Amendment, and Sarge is trying to confuse people with all this nonsense that he's talking about with natural born and I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Why the hell would you a goddamn cop?
I swear to God, man, you don't need to be passing this ignorance on to your audience and making them actually think you're right about a goddamn thing. I mean, you're up here telling me what you think this thing means. I'm telling you what I think it means, but you don't even want to listen to the people who actually wrote the motherfucker, like Senator Jacob Howard, who served on the Senate Joint Committee on Reconstruction, which drafted the fucking 14th Amendment. You don't even care what he said, and this is what he said. I'm quoting. It's on the Congressional Register. It was in the debates on the 14th Amendment. It is a matter of record. This is what he said. This will not, of course, include persons born in the United States. Listen, motherfucker, who are foreigners, aliens, who belong to the families of ambassadors or foreign ministers accredited to the government of the United States, will include every other class of persons. It settles the great question of citizenship and removes all doubt as to what persons are or are not citizens of the United States. Then Senator Lyman Trumbull, who was the chairman of the Judiciary Committee that drafted the 14th Amendment, and he authored the 13th Amendment, this is what he said it meant. He said the provision is that all persons born in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens. That means subject to the complete jurisdiction thereof. What do we mean by complete jurisdiction thereof? Not owing allegiance to anybody else. That is what it means. And Senator Walter Williams, who was on the committee, I understand the words here, subject to the jurisdiction of the United States, to mean fully and completely subject to the jurisdiction of the United States. That is what they meant. They meant completely, not partially, just because you can't drive drunk. That That doesn't mean you're subject to jurisdiction of the United States in totality. That doesn't mean you can be conscripted into the armed forces. That doesn't mean you have to pay income taxes. And you're on a temporary visa.
All right.
You're crazy. You're wrong. And Wong Kim Ark was decided the way it was because the Supreme Court said that Wong Kim Ark's parents were permanently, legally domiciled and resident in the United States and had given up their Chinese citizenship. That's in the goddamn ruling.
Okay, so hold on. I know you're going. So I muted you for a second. Listen, let's be clear here. When Sarge finds these senators and congressmen that give their opinions, here is the bottom line. The law is the law, right? The law is the 14th Amendment. And what you don't see in the 14th Amendment is the opinions of these senators and congressmen and all that kind of stuff. So let's take what is Sarge talking about here. Let's say, for instance, Joe Biden's something go through the House and the Senate and it goes into law right now and Joe Biden signs it. Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert and Matt Gaetz and whoever else in the House is going to write their little opinion disagreeing with whatever this fucking law is. They always do that, right? But that don't make it into the goddamn law. That do not make it into the decision of the Supreme Court. So Sarge is arguing something that is not fucking law. He is arguing the opinions of somebody who's probably like a fucking Marjorie Taylor Greene or a Lauren Boebert, and he's trying to say that I should consider that when I'm looking at the goddamn law. No, the fuck I shouldn't. It's a good thing that you got a historical record of what these people said at the time. That's great, but it ain't the fucking law. So to bring, that's another fucking red herring that you keep bringing up in an argument that has nothing to do with the substance of the goddamn case, which is the goddamn 14th Amendment. And we looking at the words of the 14th Amendment. And Sarge just lied to y'all about Juan King Art again when he said that somehow or another they became citizens. I don't know what the fuck he just said, but it was a lie. Because it clearly says in this decision right here that Juan King Art was born to parents. Where was he at? Landmark decision. Juan King Art holding that children born in the United States, even though the parents are not eligible to become citizens. That's what the fucking decision says. Are not eligible. Sarge just lied and said that somehow or another Juan King Art parents became citizens or whatever the fuck he just said to try to validate his argument. Sarge, it's clear. When they made this decision in 1898, Juan King Art was born here. His parents was Chinese fucking goddamn residents or whatever the fuck they was, and they didn't belong to the jurisdictions of this country. So when this baby was born, Juan King Art, he was a goddamn citizen based on what the fucking 14th Amendment says. Why you keep trying to twist and turn this goddamn conversation is beyond me. So listen, you talking to the wrong one. Talk to motherfucking ABC or Mr. Solutions or some dumbass that is going to listen to what the fuck you saying when you yelling and screaming like a little fucking biatch, trying to confuse some goddamn body. You're not gonna get nowhere here. It's just showing you. And listen, if this 14th Amendment proposal or executive order goes through, the only way it will go through is because Donald Trump has stacked the Supreme Court with people that will overturn the Constitution of the United States of America. And I remind you again, we've seen it done with the immunity decision. We've seen it done when they made the Colorado decision when he was a participant in the insurrection. I told y'all Donald Trump is not qualified to be president. And he's still not qualified based off the text of the goddamn Constitution because he participated in a goddamn insurrection. If you do, you're not qualified to run for office. Marjorie Taylor Greene ain't qualified for her office either because she incited these insurrectionists. I don't know why the fuck these people ain't holding up the goddamn laws of this goddamn country, but they're not. Probably because they're white and you know they think that history is not going to see this shit. But my point is, just because they're trying to misinterpret the law, just because they're trying to misinterpret this 8th grade motherfucking language, doesn't mean that he's right. So, Mama's boy, thank you. Let me see
one more.
Wait. I want to see who this caller is. Who's this caller here?
Yeah, Tyrone, you're out of order. You don't even deserve to be a U.S.
I'm not doing this. I'm not
too
doing
ignorant.
this. Okay,
you're too ignorant.
Okay, wait a minute. Hold on, because I know you got something to say, and I'm gonna let Mama's boy say what he got to say.
All right, Tyrone.
Wait a minute.
I don't need a whole lot of padding on this shit because it's plain as the nose on the Constitution's face. What I'm saying is absolutely correct. First of all, I'm going to give you the quote of the decision by Horace Gray, who wrote the decision for the majority in that case.
What is the law?
See,
Tell me the law.
You don't seem to think that anything matters.
What
but your
is the
own
fucking
opinion.
law? Tell me the law.
You don't care about what the court says. You don't care about the people who wrote the fucking thing. And by the way, when there is any controversy about any law or constitutional provision, among the sources they immediately go to, beyond the original text,
what is the law?
which is the first thing they look at. Then after they look at the original text, they go to the opinions and the statements of the people who wrote the law. That's what
listen.
they call originalism.
Listen, when you're sitting in the goddamn courtroom for a goddamn crime, the judge don't ask what the fuck did somebody's decision for this law to come into existence. What did they say? They don't do that. They look at the motherfucking law and they read the shit, they interpret it, and they say, here's your goddamn sentence. All this dumb shit. Now, let me backtrack a little bit. Because there are methods that when some decisions are being made, that they do weigh some decisions that brought them to that law. And that's what Sarge is trying to misconstrue. But with those decisions that they're looking at, don't undo the fucking law, Sarge. You're full of shit. Good Lord, now shut up.
All right, once again, see, I swear to God, you can't wait to mute me because you know I'm kicking your goddamn ass. I'm coming up with facts, precedent, and truth, and one of the things they do rely upon in any court decision in controversy is not only they don't stop at the text, they allow any argument that impinges on the constitutionality of the matter, and one of those that is definitely pertinent and directly involved in the case is what the original intent of the people who framed the provision is. It is one of the first fucking things I look at. You goddamn idiot.
Okay, so let me let Mama's boy in there.
I swear you just make up any fucking thing.
Wait a minute, hold on. Let me let Elisa and then Mama's boy and then Mrs. Solution.
Now I was just getting ready to say, sorry, Mama's boy. I'm getting a headache. And now that dipping stick is getting ready to do a ragtime band team on you against the stuff that they talking. I can't. My head is hurting. So I'm going to back off. If I have something to say, I'll chime in. Go ahead, Mama, boy, do your thing.
All right, sis.
I was just going to say, Sarge has this uncanny ability to try to force feed you his misinterpretation of shit he reads. I'm calling bullshit on his constitutional conservatorship.
Good point.
But Mr. Solutions, how you doing tonight, sir?
Unless motherfucking man, I care about what you call bullshit on what I say. Fuck you. The only thing I'm doing is responding to what I hear. I don't give a fuck if I change your mind or not. I could care less because the truth is going to come out. I don't give a goddamn whether you accept my words or not. I could care fucking less. I'm going to tell you you're full of shit and you're wrong and you've been wrong on every single constitutional decision that comes before the Supreme Court that I've argued differently against. You have been wrong every time and you don't even notice it. You're utterly unself-aware.
All right, so Mr. Solutions, how you doing tonight, sir? Welcome to the show.
Yeah, I'm doing fine, Tyrone. Tyrone, let me say this. The actor you play on here, you're too ignorant to be human. Look here, Sarge is making excellent historical and anecdotal points. One has to go to the background of the legislation or the background of the bill, and that's what he's saying. Let me give you a quick exception here. The offspring of diplomats that are born in this country, Tyrone, are not U.S. citizens, and they are excluded within the text that Sarge.
Let him go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Tyrone, I'm sorry. I just have to say this. You know, it gets kind of tiresome to see a black man prostrate himself and start sticking shit in his mouth from someone who just got through talking. I don't want to see that. I'm just saying that, Tyrone.
Hey, shut up. Shut your ass up. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Okay. I just said to you, Tyrone, and you can look this up if you can read. The offspring of diplomats that represent other countries, if they are born in this country, they are not citizens. They are excluded. And just like Sarge said, you don't understand what that word means. That means plenary jurisdiction, complete jurisdiction. Like he said, you can't force them to pay taxes. You can't try them for treason, all right? You can't force them into the military because they have an allegiance to another country.
Right.
So they are not subject to the plenary jurisdiction of this country. So you don't understand what you're saying.
All right, so hold on. Now, I'm
You need to listen.
Hold on. I'll mute you for a second. This is another red herring, but I am going to address it. We have not one time tonight mentioned diplomats because diplomats fall in a different category. But since Mr. Solution mentioned diplomats, I will use the 14th Amendment. It's on the screen. You can follow me, and I can show you how the 14th Amendment addresses diplomats. It says all persons born or naturalized. Now, in one iota of what I just said, does it say diplomat? Okay? So we can agree to that. Born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdictions thereof. Your diplomat is not subject to the jurisdictions of the United States. So that completely excludes your fucking diplomat. We're not talking about diplomats because they're not subject to the jurisdiction of the United States. So you are correct, sir. If you are born of a diplomat, that baby is subject to the jurisdiction of the country that their parents are from because they are diplomats. But the 14th Amendment don't say anything about fucking diplomats. They're talking about a person that is born in this country and come out of the womb and on this fucking land is subject to the jurisdiction of the United States. Now, you can keep bringing up these red herrings, and I can keep slicing you a new asshole if you want me to, but stop bringing up, stick to the goddamn conversation. Donald Trump is trying to repeal a part of a constitution that has been in this law since the 1800s or whatever the fuck, and you guys want to argue with me on my interpretations of the 14th Amendment instead of defending the goddamn Constitution. There's a problem with this whole scenario that we got going on right now. And I'm talking to a former police officer that you know don't know the goddamn
listen, you little dumb Tyrone, what you said just then was you can't follow a straight line of thinking. I'm talking about
Spit that shit out your mouth and you can talk, motherfucker. Spit that shit out your mouth and you can talk.
You just got out of jail. Come back in a cage, you wild beast. Look here, Tyrone, shut his ass up.
Take your hands off of Sarge, Mr. Solutions. Let the man go.
If I had the chance.
What you are missing.
Hold on. Y'all got to shut up, let Lisa talk. Hold on, Mr. Solutions.
He got his hands on his lap.
Go ahead, Lisa.
Tyrone, I had to chime in. You notice how you was called all kind of dumb.
Yeah.
Can't follow this. Can't this, that. When not nobody on this panel brought up nothing about no diplomat the entire night. But you can't follow nothing. You dumb.
That is a class of persons that are not subject to the jurisdiction of the United States. As a born not illegally talking about on temporary visas.
Tyrone,
class of people that are not subject to the jurisdiction.
We are never talking about diplomats.
That shows you right there, Alicia.
You're the dumbest motherfuckers ever.
Tyrone.
Oh, Jesus.
Tyrone. Tyrone.
Yeah, Tyrone.
Just because you're loud, just because you're loud, and you curse.
It's just dumb.
You
Okay, look, I want to hear what Elisa. Okay, I want to hear what Elisa's saying. So you and Mrs. Solutions on mute because y'all
just because you're loud, and just because you're triggered, and just because you're hollering like a crazed banshee, does not negate the fact that no one was talking about diplomats.
Yeah.
They were talking about people who were born here.
Yeah.
And then people come over here calling names. With no shame and no self-wherewithal, calling everybody dumb for talking about something that no one ever spoke of this evening. And then people are stupid, people are dumb, and Sarge is over there raging, about to give himself a freaking neck stroke when nobody was talking about that.
Yeah.
Where's the self-wherewithal? But you two, dip and stick. Where's the self-wherewithal?
Oh,
That's
Lord.
so serious.
What you
This is
call
a
a
non-
dip? You call a dip is
All right, hold on.
That's why I said,
Subject to the
What is
jurisdiction
wrong
of
with
the
y'all?
United States, and if you're incapable of extrapolating that to other classes of people, that shows your mental deficiency.
Okay, so let me ask you this. You and Miss Solutions, one at a
Don't-
time, please. Does the 14th Amendment...
Tyrone, yourself,
No, shut up. Let me
poke
ask the
yourself
question.
out over there with all that
Be
yelling.
learn how to extrapolate, fool!
Let me ask you this. Does the
Poke
14th
yourself.
14th Amendment
Give
mention...
yourself a neck stroke, a jaw stroke, and a brain stroke. Calm yourself down, son.
Subject to the jurisdiction thereof. Learn how to extrapolate one class of people to another class of people.
Okay, so
You guys
does...
can't be that dense.
Does
you guys
Mrs.
are
Solution, Mrs.
exceedingly
Solution, I
dense.
want to ask you, Mrs. Solution. Does
Tyrone,
hold on for a second.
Tyrone, you are a sexist bastard.
Okay,
is what you
you
are.
can call me whatever, but answer this question. Does the 14th
Yes.
Amendment? Does the 14th
You
Amendment?
a class of people that are excluded. Their babies are excluded.
Okay,
and
I'm not
from
saying.
that,
I want to ask you a
means that
question.
other
Let
classes
me
of
ask.
You gonna
babies
have to
are
mute him,
excluded.
Let me ask you a question. Since you pick on the way I say ask, let me ask you a question. Listen, does the 14th Amendment mention diplomats, Mrs. Solution?
Yes, it does.
Where?
Because that is a class of people that are excluded. The reason I gave you, I could have used certain.
Okay, so he said that is a class of people that is excluded. I agree with you. The diplomats are excluded from the 14th Amendment because they're not fucking mentioned. So for you to come on here and insert them is telling me that you don't want to have the conversation about the goddamn 14th Amendment. You just admitted it, and I agree with you. They are excluded from the 14th Amendment, Mrs. Solution, so you're right. Who's this unknown caller?
Hey, what's going on? Cool party. I got the chitlins. I got the chitlins, and I got the watermelon. I got the
cut
Kool-Aid.
people off because your points aren't worth a damn. You can't even think linearly. You can't think logically.
Okay,
and by the way, these people are going to eat your ass alive. Those people will supplant your kids.
Okay,
because they don't have an allegiance to the U.S. And anytime you bring an alien species into a native situation, the alien species wins. So you're undercutting yourself.
I don't
you
know what you're talking
fool.
about. You're confusing me. I don't know what you're talking about right now.
I know you don't because you're
He's talking about getting
That
your
nigga
ass
don't know
eaten.
what he's talking about.
Yeah, he's talking about getting your ass eaten, Tyra. I don't know if you're into that sort of shit, but it sounds freaky to me. Damn.
What's happening, Joe? How you doing?
Come on in.
Hey, what's up, man? Yeah, we've been debating this thing back and forth for the last like 2-3 days, Tyrone. You haven't been online, but yeah, at this point, I'm kind of like leaning toward the let it go because, as I said last night, well, first of all, let me just say, you're talking to Mr. Solutions, a man who doesn't believe Trump got impeached twice. He doesn't believe it happened, and so that tells you, the reality that you're dealing with right here. But neither here nor there. That's a side point and a side shot. Yes, it was. Sorry, but let it go down because the people that are going to suffer from this are those folks in them red states in the middle that depend upon that labor in order to keep whatever little communities they have going. I don't know why these folks don't understand. Nobody white is going to pick the vegetables, clean the chickens, work these dairy farms, these egg farms. Nobody white is going to do it. And so, this attitude that they have somehow that they're making some kind of statement to the world is just going to come back and bite them in the ass. Let it go down. Because the city will be fine.
You're the most bigoted, racist son of a bitch I've ever seen, and you're nothing but a little cult leader. And you're stupid.
And
Wait a minute, I don't get no names.
Why did I get all that? I don't understand.
Damn.
Where did all that come from?
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
Yeah, I don't get no names? Oh, shit. I feel left out. I feel
Hey, what
unloved.
about me? Mr.
Yeah,
Pussy?
inane
Pussy
stuff.
motherfucker.
What you're saying is not true.
Okay,
What are you talking me?
What's not true?
You just said about me. What you said wasn't true. I said Trump was not found guilty. He was indicted. He was impeached, but he wasn't.
Oh, now you want to say he's impeached? You didn't say that shit last night, motherfucker.
Sack of shit.
Say that.
You lying sack of shit.
He wasn't found guilty. I said impeach equals indictment. He wasn't found guilty.
You a lying, two-faced motherfucker. We argued last night for hours over this particular point. Me, you, and Joe. You were not talking like this last night. You must have fell on your head last night.
That's exactly what I'm saying. I must have gone.
Yeah, this dude is more slippery than the Lou boy at P. Diddy parties. Come on, son.
Hey, you want them sex workers up in the P. Diddy party, Mr. Solution?
He was brought up on charges of impeachment, yes, but he wasn't found guilty.
He got a Lou go. Damn.
Yeah,
anyway, but I know you guys don't do anything but lie together. You're seriously lying together.
I know, we're going to burn in hell, damn
people that you defend are going to eat your ass alive.
Well, how come you ain't eating? How come you ain't eating right now, motherfucker?
Yeah.
Starving.
If I wanted my ass eaten, I could have gone to a P. Diddy party. I didn't have to wait till this long. But
you need to go and take a class on not smoking. That's stupid. It's bad for your health, and you don't have health insurance, I'm pretty sure. Your underemployed ass.
Tyrone.
Hold on for 1 second. Hold on for 1 second, guys. Mr. Solution, I'm gonna mute you because you're gonna argue with me. You don't get found guilty in an impeachment. You either get a conviction or not a conviction, right? So the fact that he was impeached means that he was guilty of whatever they accused him of. Because
that's what it means. Really?
Okay, you can't impeach nobody that is not guilty of high crimes and misdemeanors like Donald Trump was, right? So they found the reason to impeach him, and they in order to impeach him, they got to have evidence that is presented, and then he will be impeached, right?
And they vote on it, Tyrone. And they vote on it. You can't forget the part that the Congress, the House of Representatives has to vote.
Right.
On it.
And then once they vote on it and send it over to the Senate, it's for a conviction. And because the Senate was Republican and all that kind of stuff, they didn't convict him. So now that doesn't mean that he was not guilty of what the fuck he did, Mr. Solution. So this is why I say you and Sarge are a little slow when it comes to the laws of this country, and you're trying to defend Donald Trump and giving misinformation to the people when you come up here trying to spread bullshit. And look, here it is right here. I'll read it for you guys. And you know, that's all I try to do. I know that sometimes I'm off and I don't get everything right, but that's why you got Google, right? It said, and I'm talking about Trump's second impeachment now. So it says,
but this is not your opinion either. You're gonna read.
No, we gotta split facts.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's the shit.
Yeah, it says Trump's impeachment it said impeachment and conviction begins in the House of Representatives, where the articles of impeachment are drawn up. These articles are then voted on by House members. I think that's what Mama's boy said. Each article is voted on separately and required a simple majority to pass. Now, that's the guilty part that I'm talking about. Once it passes, that means that the House said that this man did whatever the fuck they said he did. Okay, once the articles have been passed in the House, the president has been impeached. That's it. You're impeached. You did whatever the fuck they accused you of the high crimes and misdemeanors, you're impeached. The articles are then sent to the Senate for adjudication with an impeachment trial. After the views have been laid out on trial, in the trial, the Senate moves to vote on conviction. Each article requires 2/3 majority of the Senate to present to pass. If the article passes the Senate, the president has been convicted and is removed from office. That's the part that didn't happen with Donald Trump. They didn't convict him in the Senate. Once the president is convicted, a further vote may be held to determine whether or not the now former president is barred from holding office. If this vote passes, this vote passes with a simple majority in the Senate. So, Mr. Solutions, you do not once again know what the 14th Amendment is. You're inserting diplomats when nobody said anything about diplomats. And then you're saying Donald Trump didn't get found guilty or whatever the fuck you just said. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You just don't. So just shut up and just pay attention to this country boy. Okay?
Tyrone, I know what I'm talking about far more than your high school dropout ass.
Okay.
What is the purpose of the Senate in the impeachment process, Tyrone?
To convict the damn party.
Did they convict?
They didn't convict.
You stupid motherfucker.
You got one dumbass, and you guys follow this shit.
It's still that, and listen, whether they convicted him or not doesn't take away from the fact that he was impeached.
No, listen, solution. You said, hold on, Mama's boy. You were saying that he wasn't guilty. That was what your argument was. You said that he didn't get found guilty. Once it was in the House and they passed the shit, that means he did whatever the fuck they said he did. Now, it was up to the Senate to convict him. Now, just because the Senate didn't convict him, don't mean that the House didn't find what they found. It's not like a regular court system. This is something complete. It's an impeachment fucking trial. You can't compare this to a regular court system. The format may be the same.
Last night.
The format may be the same, and people may be wearing robes. I don't know, whatever the fuck. But it's not like a regular. This is an impeachment trial. Sarge, you should know this. You was a police officer, and you know this is not just like a regular court system. This is an impeachment fucking trial, and once you get impeached, he has been impeached and he is guilty of whatever the fuck.
They never take it away. Yeah.
So he didn't get convicted by the Senate, and that means that he didn't have to get kicked out of office. That's all that means. Good Lord, what the fuck is wrong with y'all?
The Senate acts as a jury trial. No senator acts in the prosecution. They act as a jury. The House managers act as a prosecution. You don't understand anything about the. I mean, nothing.
It's still not a court.
You just got through saying
still not a
the purpose
court.
of the Senate is to convict the person that's been impeached. No, they're supposed to try them and determine whether or not the case made by the House of Representatives is valid to impeach them. You don't know shit about jurisprudence or anything by the words you use.
Okay. Can I speak real quick, Tyrone? Hold on. The reason, there's a very distinct reason why it's not a court, because each and every witness or person that's going to vote, your jury, so that Sarge wants to call it, they don't have to rule on the basis of whether you did it or not. They don't have to vote whether or not you could be issued guilty information in the trial, know he's guilty, but still vote to acquit, which is what happened in Trump's case.
Lawyers defending him.
Can you shut the fuck up, man? Can you shut the fuck up? I'm talking, old man. Shut up.
Let Mama's boy finish. Let Mama's boy finish.
Anything. You should shut your ass up.
What?
So just like in a normal court of law, a juror has to assess. A juror has to.
You don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Hold on. What is
wrong with you? You're gonna have to mute him. He don't want me to finish this important point.
Well, you don't let me finish, you bitch.
No diddy.
What is wrong with you?
Tyrone?
Fucking finish, and you're
come on, man. Let that kill that.
Okay, Mr. Solution, I'm about to put you in timeout for 1 second. Let Mama's boy finish. What is wrong with this guy? Go ahead.
Trying way too hard to stop him. He over there yelling and everything. Okay, Tyrone, is so important because when you're sitting in the jury box as a citizen down at the courthouse, right, you sworn, right, to uphold the law. Not the Constitution, but the law. So if they present evidence in that, you have to vote guilty if it's evidence that shows they're guilty. You can't have a bias. Now, we know people have done it. We've had messed up hung juries and shit like that, and they retry them, and you find out that they are guilty because somebody does the exact role as a citizen should, which is just take in the evidence and vote accordingly. But when it comes to the Senate, they don't have to. That the people, the senators that vote don't have to have that priority. It's not a judicial proceeding. There's no you must follow the law. They can vote for, they can say, oh yeah, I know the motherfucker guilty, like they did in Trump's case, but I'm still gonna vote to acquit. Because it's a political decision. That it's a political vote. And don't let anybody tell you anything different.
All right, so we're gonna let Mr. Solutions scream. Go ahead, Mr. Solutions.
Yeah, Mama's boy is dumb as hell. Look, that's the one you should be muting, Tyrone. That stupid bastard. And you should be muting your own ass. Tyrone, all you have to do is read the definition again of impeachment. It's embedded in those definitions. And you come up with the wrong conclusion even after you read it. You still make your own dumbass, uneducated, unfounded conclusion. And it's wrong. Trump had lawyers defending him. They couldn't convict him within the impeachment process because the evidence did not warrant it.
They impeached him, Mr. Solution.
Impeachment just means to call you up on charges, just like an indictment in a regular court setting. It's just like if the DA were to indict your dumb ass. You wouldn't say, well, take me to jail.
The fact that you get impeached means you got indicted. That means you did it.
Would you shut this?
For Christ's sake, I don't fucking believe this motherfucker just said that. Motherfucker, you need to shut up, go to the dunce corner. Put your dunce cap on. Ignorant motherfucker.
About one stupid ass human being.
Okay, but listen,
I swing from a tree, motherfucker.
I just made an observation, and I just want to just put this out there. Y'all really have this passion for Donald Trump? Like, y'all serious?
Tyrone, it's you.
We're talking about the whole right now. Fuck Donald Trump. This ain't got nothing to do with it. This motherfucker just said if you get indicted, you're guilty. That's what the son of a bitch just said.
That's exactly what the House of Representatives says. Really You're guilty of this, and they send you to the Senate to be tried. And you know just as well as I know, it's a political process. So the people who are voting on the conviction don't even have to vote on the quarter of all that damn. Hold on. Of all the lawyeries, because you know that's all procedure. No, hold on, brother. I know you want to stop me too. I know you want to stop me too, but you can't.
One more time, nigga. What
Okay, I'll tell you what, Sarge. For entertainment purposes, you know an impeachment is a political process. It's not a judicial process, is it?
But that's not saying anything. That's stupid. What does it mean? What does it mean? You keep saying the same.
Am I right or wrong, dumb motherfuckers? Is it a judicial process? Is it a judicial process?
They're not being
wrong.
They're not gonna answer the damn question because they know that cut their throat if they answer that question.
All right. So you getting worked up that he wasn't found guilty. All right. Point. Okay. Let's leave it there. But
it doesn't mean anything to say it's a political process.
Okay, listen. Hold on. I'll accept that they impeached him and they didn't find him guilty for whatever reason. I'm not going to argue that. Let's leave it there. But I'm going to talk about. Hold on. Let's talk about things he did found guilty for. He's a felon. All right. Convicted. Here.
Okay, well, just wait a moment. That's going to be overturned on appeal.
Hold on. Let's deal with Letitia James. Let's deal with...
Hold on, Jay New York. Hold on, wait. It's already been through appeal, and it came back.
No, it hasn't.
Yes, it has.
No, it hasn't.
You're making shit up again, you goddamn nigga. It ain't gone through a fucking appeal yet.
The Supreme Court rejected...
So wait, can y'all accept that he was found guilty? He's a felon.
Yes, Donald Trump is a convicted felon. I told you the minute that judge entered the decision that
I can appreciate that in you, Sarge. I can appreciate that.
Hey, Sarge, let me.
Trump is a convicted felon.
Let me ask you this, Sarge.
I can appreciate that, Sarge.
With Barack Obama.
He's a convicted felon now, okay? I'm not going to argue it anymore.
Sarge, was Barack Obama a convicted felon?
No. Next. Can we get this real quick? All you got to do is ask me a matter of fact, and I will answer you immediately.
Right, without bullshit.
Yeah, well, Mama's boy.
Once the judge entered the decision, but let me tell you something. Even it, and I don't. Because I've read the trial record, and I've looked into 34 potential reversible errors in this thing. One or two of them, I guarantee you, will stick.
Okay, so now let me ask you one last question before Joe speaks.
Wait, hold on, please. They didn't allow the chairman of the federal campaign committee.
Listen. With his record, right? Let's forget about his age. With his record, can he work as a police officer or a government official?
What is that? Okay, what does that mean? You're not sneaking in a question.
Will you answer the goddamn question?
What does that mean? Are you stupid? Listen to the question and you understand what I'm saying. What does that mean? I'm asking both of you a question.
Answer that. That's a dumbass question because that's not the qualifier for a president. That's not the qualifier.
No. I'm asking outside of that. If he's getting
why are you asking outside of that?
I will answer you if you'd like an answer.
Yeah, hold on.
I will answer you.
For the record, can he get a job in any government?
I would like to answer that, please.
Yes.
Let me answer it. Here's the answer.
FBI.
First of all, you got 50 states in the union, and you got 17,000 state and local police departments. Most of them will not accept a convicted felon as a police officer. However, there are waivers available. They are waivable by the state governor or by the local jurisdiction or whatever, depending upon the state. Some will. But I will grant you most won't. But those are not the qualifications to be president of the United States. Why? Because the people who wrote the Constitution and founded the revolution, all of them were convicted in absentia by British courts of treason. They were all convicted felons. That would be Thomas Jefferson. That would be George Washington. That would be John Adams. That would be Benjamin Franklin.
You should have known he was going to find a loophole.
It's possible for someone to be convicted of a crime that was an unjust conviction. So that's my answer to you.
Those were bogus convictions, by the way, so they didn't include that. But listen here. It's that we are concerned with. You can't take that and migrate it into something else. We've got to stick with the qualification for the office of president.
But I'm gonna call bogus. I'm gonna call bogus on what y'all saying, because if your founding fathers was going to produce a whole new nation away from that, then of course they would call it bogus.
Well, listen, what Sarge just said is 100% historically accurate, and it's this. Every one of those guys who signed the Declaration of Independence was guilty of a felony. They were guilty of treason.
Hold on. I got a rhetorical question for you. Were they United States felons?
No, they were
slaves. Sit your dumb ass down.
Of the government that had jurisdiction over the colonies.
That was England. That was King George. What was that? The third, Sarge? Whatever.
Yeah, King George the Third was
exactly the people you trying to get the folks you trying to get away from. The folks you trying to get away from, right?
Man, the point is, if they lost
Yeah. Don't stumble over yourself too hard,
they would have been put in a dungeon for the rest of their lives.
Right, so they didn't include.
Look, man. Look. I don't want to see you guys stretching yourselves out in front of me over Donald Trump. Y'all can stop that. I ain't got to hear it no more.
And now you got to change the subject.
You just got through diving across the field and stumbled across yourself because, like I explained, you calling them felons from the British government, from the British government, right? From the British government, right?
Of treason against the crown, they were felons.
Okay, from the British government, right?
They were guilty of treason.
And the British government is a valid.
Goddamn, hold on, shut up, Mr. Solution. Sarge trying to answer me. You said it was from the British government, right?
That's exactly what I said.
Okay, let's stop. I don't need no explanation. I don't need all that. Listen to me. They weren't United States felons, though. Right. After the colonies got together. Hold on. I'm still talking, old man. I'm still talking, man. I'm still talking. Okay,
but
check
you
it out.
aren't making any
Check it
fucking
out.
sense.
Check.
You're
Well,
talking,
you just
but you're
too
not
slow,
making any
motherfucker.
sense.
You too slow, motherfucker. America wasn't founded yet, you dumb motherfucker. They were still
Hey,
colonies.
listen, boy,
Okay,
you're an idiot, and you
you
are a
fucking.
goddamn boy.
You just don't like the way I mask you out the way, little man.
Not saying
Sorry.
anything. All your questions are stupid.
July 4th, 1776.
Okay. All right, now listen. Let's go right there. Until then, right? Now you have a United States felon in 1776, right? If it am I correct?
And most of them were convicted in absentia.
But Thomas Jefferson and all them other boys at 1776, despite what the fucking British government wanted to put on them, I guarantee you they wasn't no convicted fucking United States felon, was they?
And they
were not
All
convicted
right
by the
then.
United States government.
So let the presidency begin.
Government, really, strictly speaking, didn't exist.
Y'all and the motherfucker sound stupid. You don't think you don't
even exist then. You had a
okay?
continental Congress
Obviously,
at that
that's
time.
my point. That's my whole point, dipshit. I'm gonna call you dipshit, not dip.
You don't know a goddamn
I'm gonna call
thing
you
about
dip.
history.
That's the very point I was making.
When you get caught in the point, you just reveal more of your ignorance.
No, listen, sir. That's the point I was making in it the whole time, dumbass.
You never make a point. You're stupid.
You just too slow to catch it. You calling them convicted felons of the British government. Who gives a fuck?
That's the one that mattered.
It don't matter to the United States, do it?
Not if they don't
Thank you.
lose.
Both of y'all some dumbass. I just put both of y'all niggas hate. Hey, Sarge, I just gave you a fade, and I gave Mr. Solutions a fade.
Wait. It doesn't make any sense to me that you're
Don't put on a clown suit.
Hold on. You're trying to implement something for the president that now you're saying these guys came over from England and they said, oh, no, we're not going to, we felons, and so we're
This is what I'm saying, Jay. Listen a minute. This is what I'm...
Shut the fuck up. Sit your ass back, Mr. Belvedere. Listen.
I'm trying to explain it to your dumb ass because you're not going to make a point.
You're dumb. Listen, you can't even curse right. Stay in your place. Sit your ass back in a bow tie. Sit your ass back.
Say anything of any import.
Sit your ass back. And like
okay, what's your dumb ass question? Go ahead.
You're trying to implement something, right? These people, they were felons, so now
go ahead with your dumb ass question.
They come to the United States of America, and you're saying, well, we're going to protect the president and not put any guardrails because they're going to try to implement something that England did. Well, how is that when they're the ones that are putting the rules?
Okay, Jay, we got to this conversation when I made the point that the reason the framers of the Constitution did not say a convicted felon cannot assume the office of president. The reason they put it there because they recognize the possibility of an unjust conviction preventing an otherwise qualified person from becoming president of the United States. So they deliberately omitted that reason.
Okay, cite that point. Who said that? Go back in your little papers, the constitutional papers. Hold on. Hold on. No, give me. Cite that.
1786.
Cite that shit right there. Cite that decision.
You stay right there. You just challenge me. I'm gonna get you the quotes. Because they debated this shit at the Constitutional Convention of which
motherfucker quit talking and cite the shit. I don't need to hear your goddamn conversation. Cite the shit so I can go read it. Cite it. Quit yapping like you say you don't yap. You sitting up in here yap, and ain't cited shit yet. Ain't gave me no motherfucking information I could go check out. You just running your damn mouth.
Yeah, Sarge, one of the things you're leaving out, though, is they also believed in the jury of your peers and the power of the judiciary as opposed to the executive branch. So it wasn't just that. It was the fact that they put in place for the first time a jury to be adjudicated by your peers instead of by the House of Lords, So that was part of it, too, a big part of it.
Hold
Sarge.
I'll be right back. I'm getting the site now so I can quote it to this dummy. Just hold on a minute. I'll be right back with you.
But do you agree with what I just said?
I didn't quite hear it because I was away from the phone. What was that again?
I said, but part of the reason of what you say may be true, but the bigger reason is because they believe in the power of adjudication by your peers. They believed in that judiciary. They believe that you should be judged fairly by the people, from your community, where you're from. And so because of that, they could never envision a felon running for the office of president, because I guess they had the belief that it would be stopped by then.
I think they did because they knew every one of them was a felon. They knew they were going to be hanged or put in a dungeon for the rest of their lives. They certainly knew that could also be a president of the United States, and they said so when they debated the matter of the qualifications for president at the Philadelphia Constitutional Convention.
All right. Well,
let me ask you a question, Sarge.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. Now, when you read the papers of the Constitutional Congress and how they debate back and forth before they start building all these laws and shit for the Constitution, right? One thing is always found out is everybody didn't agree on the same thing, right? Everybody had small tweaks to certain issues that other people didn't feel the same way.
Exactly. Slavery was one of the biggest issues. You're right.
Okay, hold on. I don't need that. I'm just follow me here.
Give an example. You may proceed. Go ahead.
Bro, you always giving too much.
Oh,
God damn.
I can't give too much with you guys. No, I can't.
Follow me, Sarge. So what you said was very pertinent. It was the first couple of words you said, I think. And you just have to stop pushing what you think on all the shit, because by the time, hold on, Sarge, wait a minute, I'm still talking. I know you don't like the delivery plan, but I'll let you give your opinion if you just shut up and let me finish. God damn, I swear to God, you can't shut the fuck up.
Consistency whatsoever.
My consistency is this, okay? By the time the letters get on the paper, both sides are considered. But the most important thing and what the founders wanted to implement in the country was going to get put on the paper. And you wasn't going to agree with it, and neither would I if I was on the opposite side. It would always be somehow down the line. If you truly read the Constitution and follow it with the Constitutional Congress and how they argue. But, it's so much work, a lot of people don't do that. But, Sarge, you try to use that on us over here, that you have read the papers and shit like that. Some people ain't that stupid, bro. Common sense just tells you, look at the document.
Yeah, hello, Bobby boy, you still there? You done?
That's all I'm saying, man.
Okay, let me get this straight now. When I give my opinion, that's not valid. But
what I'm saying,
actually wrote the requisite provisions, that's not valid either. So nothing, according to you, I say has validity because it just comes out of my mouth.
Like I was trying to say.
Whatever then.
You want me to answer? You want me to answer? Like I was trying to say, I don't know if I fully said it, but I meant to say it. You try to force how you feel about it over the whole document and say that's the correct way. When if it was the correct way, the document would say that. And it doesn't. You're the way you think about it, the document is against you. And you have to shape our mind, the reason why it's not in there, and you don't even fucking know.
Again, it's not a dictionary. There's all kinds of things that are not defined. The only thing that's defined in the Constitution is treason. Nothing else is.
And why is that, Sarge?
Because they wanted people to be able to have the flexibility to amend the Constitution and for other reasons. And there was a lot of common understanding of what terms used in the Constitution meant. The most common treatise from which they quoted and used the law was Emmerich de Batel's Law of Nations, a Swiss jurist who wrote the book in 1758. People understood what those words, like well-regulated in the Second Amendment. Everybody at that time knew what the term well-regulated meant. It didn't mean what a lot of people today think it means.
Well, Sarge, now I know you like arguing with me, but I'm glad we got you speaking a little calmer.
I'm answering you directly. I'm not
okay, so we know that our government, the writers of this Constitution, they knew very well words were important. So that's why certain words are used, okay? And just like you saying about the flexibility of the Constitution being amended, you know? So let's get back to the beginning with that thought process. They argued about the presidency, okay, and how much power the president should have. Okay, all branches of power were supposed to be equally developed, but the president is just he the boss. He the face of the country. Okay, so he controls soldiers a certain set, but he doesn't control the military because that takes Congress. You understand? So they give presidents certain powers. Yeah, he needs a Praetorian Guard. Why not the Marines? Excuse me. Damn. Okay, but he's not a king. He's not a fucking king. All right. So just because, you know, that's why I want you to cite I want to hear the opinion that went into the words for that. You know what I'm saying? Because then I can discern whether or not they took both sides and split it down the middle, or they lean to one side, conservative side versus more liberal side. See, that's how you try to play it on us. You don't come straight down the middle like I'm talking to you right now.
I'm not interested in coming down straight down the middle. I'm coming down interested in what the Constitution says. I'm not interested in being down the middle.
Okay, Sarge. It's okay, Sarge. You admitted to me years ago that you lean right.
When you made
you know what I'm saying?
Statements there a minute ago about number one, that the president does not command the armed forces. Now, that's not true. He's the commander in chief. Nobody else can give orders to the United States Armed Forces but the president. The vice president doesn't. The Speaker of the House doesn't. The Secretary of State doesn't. Only the president. And then after him, the Secretary of Defense. Nobody intervenes between those two. Nobody. So he does command them. That's not true. He absolutely commands them. He is the chain of command. That's where it starts. Nobody's higher in the chain of command than the president.
Explain the process for military for the army to go somewhere.
All right, here's what happens. The army can, even if Congress declares war, the armed forces cannot march until the president gives them the order. Congress doesn't give them the order. The president does. And they don't obey any orders from any congressman. That's how it works. Even if they declare war and the president doesn't order them to march, they can't go anywhere.
But that's a little bit different than what I'm asking you.
Well, what was the question you're asking me?
Okay. Something I know is that the president could say, go fight. I'm good with that. But it takes Congress to develop all that money to move that military.
Well, that's
not the president.
That's a different matter. Now you're bringing up another subject.
Well, that's what I'm just directing you to where I'm going.
Well, I'm not going to argue with you on that. Yeah,
that's what I was meaning. That's what I was meaning. Yeah, the president has his military, the Marines. He could say, go over here. The Marines go, not the Army. If the president says, go over there, the Marines go. If it's an initial thing, but if you're going to try and say, you'll stand up in front of the world and say, we're going to go fight over in Saskatchewan. You think the military's packing up shit just because you said that?
I'll let I'll have you know that the War Powers Act is a recent innovation.
Well, thank you. I know the Congress gave him powers. I get that.
Has sent troops to fight all around the world for most of this country's history, and most of
You know they changed it. I know they changed it, but we're talking about
the changed it to Vietnam.
No, I know when they changed it, but he likes to pivot like this. But we're talking about when the Constitution was written. You know what I'm saying? What about?
Just brought this matter up.
I'm talking when the Constitution was written.
Well, okay, one more time.
It wasn't in there, was it?
The history of the United States have been done without initial congressional authorization.
Brother.
And nobody said he couldn't do it.
We ain't trying to go revision history, man. We just going through nuts and bolts, man.
Writing it accurately. You want me to give you the dates?
Go ahead, you can do you, but I don't want to hear it. Be honest with you, it's not necessary.
The United States has only declared war 5 times in its history. 5. There have been about 39 deployments of United States troops domestically and overseas in the history of the United States. Most of those deployments were not with a declaration of war. God, I'm not making history up here. The Barbary Pirates, you didn't have a declaration of war when President Monroe sent them over there to Tripoli. My goodness. Please, you guys crack a history book once in a while.
but hold on, brother. Hold on. So let's just for shits and grins say, okay, we know how we go to war. All right. My whole point is, brother, at the time that the Constitution was written, don't you think that they had the right words and the intelligence to put the right words? Because we know in that document, every fucking word counts. Okay.
I agree.
All right. And you know, to be what do you call yourself? A constitutional conservative?
Yes.
Is that what you call yourself?
Yes. That's why I cited so much.
Oh, okay. So you've already, I want to make sure I say this again. In past times, you've already admitted that you tend to lean right anyway. I mean, this is
I'm a constitutionalist.
Bro, hold on, Sarge. When you tell me that the first thing you would tell someone young, new to the political football field, is never vote for a Democrat. Shut the fuck up.
Go right.
Well, that's my opinion, man. I stand by that. That's one
You know your shit is skewed like a motherfucker.
Go right.
I stand by that more than any other motherfucking thing.
Go right. And you throw this Elon Musk.
Goddamn right. You goddamn right. I'm going to go with that every motherfucking time. Do not vote for Democrats.
And you throw the Elon Musk Hitler.
So I ain't going to make no apologies for that one.
Go right.
Let me ask you a question, Sarge. So
damn.
You wouldn't technically consider me being wrong if I thought that you lean more right than you do center.
No, because everything about the Constitution is not necessarily conservative, but it is constitutional, whatever it is.
Well, no, I'm not even really. I'm kind of the Constitution is kind of to the side now, because if your opinion is skewed, you're going to use conservative terms, words
to
describe it.
My telling people to not vote for Democrats is a violation of the Constitution somehow?
No, you telling people not to vote for Democrats shows that you lean right. You have a bias.
Well, that would be if the Republicans were actually conservative, which they're really not. So I don't agree with your premise.
That's just your view of the Republican Party.
Well, it's my view of the Democrat Party too. That they're insane and they're destructive.
So somehow you just magically above both parties.
I'm not above it. No. I'll tell you this much. when it comes to making a decision about a political matter in which I've got a stark choice, I almost always go with the Republicans. I make no bones about
Well,
that.
God damn it, I just said that.
But it's because
Why you
I don't
dancing
have a
around
real
the shit,
other
Sarge?
option. That's why I wish I had a better option than the Republicans.
Fuck what you wish. Answer the question correctly, sir.
Look,
I mean, goddamn.
look, you try to force fit this opinion into my
There's
opinion.
no force fit. Sarge, I'm saying something simple that could be agreed to in 3 seconds. Yes, I'm a little biased to the Republicans. Yes, goddamn it, we can move on. I'm just telling you, whenever you tell a story, whenever you talk, whenever you identify, you're gonna be doing it on a conservative side, a right-leaning side.
More likely
That's all
than
I'm
not,
saying.
Yes, more likely than not.
Goddamn, we just talked for 15 minutes just so you could say yes now. You could have said that 15 minutes
You
ago.
better stop using these categorical terms when it comes to my
I
opinion.
ain't never seen you. Sarge, you couldn't be a liberal if you vomited, died, and came back.
You got that absolutely correct.
Okay then, man. Let's just spit it straight, Sarge.
One thing about it, though,
When I see you walking sideways to me, I know something ain't right.
liberal, but I'm a classical liberal, absolutely.
Oh yeah, because see the old school liberals were the racist crackers. That's right.
You're wrong.
I'm right.
You're wrong.
So you mean the Democratic Party didn't march on Washington in the 1920s? Then wasn't Democrats out there, them KKK uniforms on?
Many of them were, but I remember Carlton Heston.
Many of them were.
Right up there on the podium with Martin Luther King.
Many of them were.
What was Carlton Heston, sir? He was a
Whatever, man. Whatever, man. Whatever, brother.
So what you're saying is not true. Many of them were Democrats and many of them were Republicans. The Civil Rights Bill passed because of the Republicans, especially in the Senate.
That's after the switch, nigga.
See how you just changed this up? You talk about the March on Washington. It hadn't been passed when they went on the March on Washington.
Yeah, my bad. I wasn't talking about that March on Washington. I said 1920, dipshit. 1920.
All right, guys, I'm getting ready to.
Democrats and the fucking Ku Klux Klan marching.
I'm getting ready to open up.
That's what I just said. You that Democrat right there, Sarge.
I'm getting ready to open up.
Most of them people marching on Washington.
Why the hell don't y'all let me talk on my goddamn show? Shut up. I'm getting ready to open up the lines. Guys, it's after 12 o'clock. I ain't know it has gotten so late. And I'm getting ready to shut YouTube down so y'all can call in and listen to Sarge and Mama's Boy. What happened to Mr. Pollutions? Crazy ass. All right. So
I cut his hair. He went on ahead and went to the stove.
He's still on.
Hey, short ass, I'm still here. Drug addict, short ass.
I'll fade your ass. I'll fade your ass again.
The Q&A session is over. All participants are unmuted.
What you need to do is go and fund your
You can't
retirement
even keep up with the conversation, man. Shut up. Now, Sarge, I know.